sled, keep turning. We are the heartbreakers, risk takers, anything but boring. 'Cause we are the crazy ones, the mavericks, the dreamers, the forgotten sons. We color outside the lines for fun. We are the crazy ones, 'cause we are the crazy ones, the badass outcasts out of our guns. We march to the beat of a different drum. We are the crazy ones. We are the crazy ones. One of a kind, buddy. So stand up and take a seat. We are the crazy ones, the mavericks, the dreamers, the forgotten sons. We color outside the lines for fun. We are the crazy ones, 'cause we are the crazy ones, the badass outcasts out of our guns. We march to the beat of a different drum. We are the crazy ones. We are the crazy ones. We are the crazy ones. We are the crazy Say what you want, 'cause you know I can hear you now. Say what you mean, so you stand out among the crowd. I'll kick the motherfucking door in. If anybody tries to keep you out, you just gotta keep believing. I won't let you down. No, I won't let you down. Don't you wanna ride with me? Never gonna lie, you'll see. When you're not afraid to lose, face the other side of truth. Don't you wanna be unleashed, running like a lion free? When you're not afraid to lose, face the other side of truth. Come ride with me. Take what you want and forget what the world will say. Take what you need, leave the debts that you won't repay. They should have listened to the warning. This revolution is a siren sound. You just gotta keep believing. I won't let you down. No, I won't let you down. Don't you wanna ride with me? Never gonna lie, you'll see. When you're not afraid to lose, face the other side of truth. Don't you wanna be unleashed, running like a lion free? When you're not afraid to lose, face the other side of truth. Come ride with me. Don't you worry, I won't let you down. Don't you wanna ride with me? Never gonna lie, you'll see. When you're not afraid to lose, face the other side of truth. Don't you wanna be unleashed, running like a lion free? When you're not afraid to lose. not this time. You underestimate the moment you should. You got no idea what I'm capable of. No, you don't. You think I'm gonna back down? You better think again. I've always said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You're gonna suffer, hit me, I'll hit back harder. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. It's your darkest hour, hit me, I hit you harder. When my back's against the wall. When my back's against the wall. You are the darkness and I am the light. You are the fallen in heaven to light. So step back, you're crossing the line. If I told you what I told you 1,000 times. No, you don't. You think I'm gonna back down? You better think again. I've always said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You're gonna suffer, hit me, I'll hit back harder. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. It's your darkest hour, hit me, I hit you harder. When my back's against the wall. When my back's against the wall. Against the wall, you've got my back, you're gonna fall. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. You're gonna suffer, hit me, I'll hit back harder. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. It's your darkest hour, hit me, I hit you harder. The bigger they are. Last night a man came by, said you haven't lived until you've tried to be a caged bird who let himself break free. He said he don't mean to criticize, he's just a passerby with young man's eyes. Said when he was my age he looked just like me. Young man, don't you know it ain't where you've been, but where you aim to go with. I'm gonna say goodbye to the road that I've been traveling, to the load that I've been carrying. It's a new day, yes it is. I'm gonna say hello to the places that I'm gonna go. The great unknown and the open road. It's a new day, yes it is. Love lost, laughed and cried. Through it all, held my head high. 'Cause these memories have made me who I am. I don't know what's on the other side of this mountain high that I'm about to climb, but those old man's words keep playing in my head. Young man, don't you know it ain't where you've been, but where you aim to go with. I'm gonna say goodbye to the road that I've been traveling, to the load that I've been carrying. It's a new day, yes it is. I'm gonna say hello to the places that I'm gonna go.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our best.
Republic. I like the sentiment of it. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, netting now at your expense.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare to be an outlaw!
All right, everybody, it is the Outlaw Radio Network. It is the 17th of August, 2025. Thanks for checking out the show. K-Dog, Black Tom, Lori, the CEO, is here somewhere. Hello, Thomas.
Thomas.
What's going on, buddy?
Wow.
What's going on, my friend?
I'm good. I'm a little baffled by the Thomas.
I don't know what that came from. I'm just not.
Thomas is usually reserved for my mother, law enforcement, and judges.
And probably the Liquor Control Board?
No, actually, I've got a great relationship with the Liquor Control Board.
But they probably call you Thomas, right?
No,
when they come in?
No. It's
they call you Tom?
No, I'm super relaxed.
Tommy?
With those guys.
Tomatio?
Tomatio.
Johann Sebastian Tom? Like, what do they call you when they come in here?
Just Tom.
Just Thomas. All right.
No.
Just Tom. All right. Good show tonight.
It is.
We have.
We just started. How do we know?
So you just moved it way the other way. If you want to, if you can bring it in a little bit. So bring it in. We're adjusting camera live on air, folks. This is what live. Keep coming in. I'll tell you when to stop. Okay, stop. Now move it towards Tom slightly. Just so we're a little more sun. There you go. Perfect. What's up, peeps? All right. So Outlaw Radio Network, thanks for checking out the show. Paul's going to join us later by video as he's getting ready to reopen the paintball field next weekend. If you are expecting to play some paintball, I would do it now because the weather's about to change. Not that they won't be open when it's wet and gross outside, but you play now when it's dry, and then go play when it's wet and gross. But go out and play now at the paintball field. And when Paul dials in, we will talk to him about how people can make reservations and book their experience.
Yeah. Have you played before?
No.
No. Oh, it's
no.
fun.
I've been shot with a paintball gun before, but I never played it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I am going to get together a whole bunch of the guys from my church. We're going to go out and play. You want to come out and play with us, Tom?
I would love to.
Okay, we'll bring you out too.
I used to play on a tournament.
So they can win gold. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
There you go.
I am mentally challenged.
Well, duh. You're on this show. Anyway, so we're going to do that. We'll let you guys know how that goes.
That'd be fun.
We're also talking about doing an excursion to the north end. We're still talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
North end of Kitsap?
Yeah. What were we doing? We were going to go up there for what? What were we going to go up there for?
We were talking about going up to check out Bainbridge Island.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would just kind of...
I was on Bainbridge on Friday. So for those of you that are not Facebook friends with me, I went over to the Seahawk game against Kansas City on Friday night. The game was phenomenal. Literally, we lit them up like the Eagles did in the Super Bowl. It was fabulous. But the weather was horrendous and horrible, and I was soaked. my fingers looked like I had been in a bathtub for 2 hours. It
That's
was
funny.
that wet outside.
That's funny.
But I did go to Bainbridge. Contrary to popular belief, they do not offer you caviar the minute you cross the bridge.
They took the caviar stand down.
The caviar stand is gone. Although when you get on and off the ferry, there's a band playing like on the deck of the Titanic, and they give away cigars. So ride the Bainbridge ferry if you don't.
They still have the red carpet there, or is it kind of mossy?
Well, they saw me coming and realized I was from South Kitsap, and they were like, "Oh no,
no red carpet,
no carpet for you. Yeah. You sit and stare at you, bastard." So that's what they made me do. All right, we have an announcement. We have a little bit of an announcement. I'm just going to tease it. Next Sunday, we will be adding a new member to the Outlaw team.
There's a new Outlaw.
There's a new Outlaw. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to give you any hints about them. I'm not going to tell you their age, gender, occupation, any of that stuff. I'm just going to tell you that a fan favorite is going to be joining the show on a permanent basis starting next Sunday. If you want to find out who that is, you can tune in at 7 next Sunday to see who joins the Outlaw team. It is a fan favorite, though. It's not a name or a voice that you guys have not heard on this show plenty of times before. And it's not Brandy Cruz, because we don't have the checkbook
we can't
to get Brandy Cruz. That's true. Also, I want to remind you guys as well that next Saturday is Doc Loves the Kids Day out at Lions Field in East Bremerton. For those of you that are not familiar with the event, it's a big community event that Doc Blackwell does every single year. He gives out school supplies, backpacks, haircuts, bicycles, shoes, a whole bunch of stuff.
This thing's gotten huge.
Yeah. And at first I thought Doc was an idiot, because I'm like, dude, this is fair weekend. This is Kitsap County Fair weekend. He said, turn my mic down. All right, hold on. My mic's not very loud. Like it really isn't. But I'll turn that down and fix my headphones. All right. So, is that any better, DJD, who's sending us messages? Anyway, at first I thought Doc was an idiot, because I was like, well, this is Kitsap County Fair weekend, dude. Like, why would you do this on the same weekend of the fair? But he's going to be at the fair. And Doc's response was, the fair is expensive.
It is.
And there's a lot of families that cannot afford to go to the fair.
That's true.
And so he does it on the same weekend as the fair. It's only like a 3 or 4 hour event.
And everything is free.
Everything is free. Yeah. Although the Outlaws will be in effect, we're running the dunk tank. And if you would like to make a donation to Doc Blackwell's cause, for Doc Loves the Kids and the myriad of other things he does in the community, you can get some balls, and you can use those balls to try to dunk us. I'll be in the tank. Tom will be in the tank. Paul will be in the tank. I don't know who else will be in the tank. We've reached out. I'm going to throw this person under the bus because he's been on the show a lot, and I can do that. Bremerton Mayor Greg Wheeler, we've reached out to him to try to get him to come sit down there on the platform for the dunk tank. We haven't heard back from him. So if you know Mayor Wheeler, or if you are Mayor Wheeler, we would love for you to be a part of it. You're the mayor, for Christ's sakes. Come on out and join us. But 100% of any proceeds we get are going to go back to Doc and his mission and the things that he does. So if you think you have the athletic ability to dunk one of us or all of us, come on down, make a tiny donation, be a part of it. It'll be a lot of fun. Additionally, I will also be at the Kitsap County Fair on and off throughout the week as Kitsap Great Escape, your only escape room in Kitsap County, proud sponsor of the show, shout out to them, is going to be offering their portable escape room at the fair. So you can come down and play the portable escape room. It's a 10-minute experience. You can come down and check that out, get some more information about what they're doing at Kitsap Great Escape. So did I remember to tag everything? Are we good? Let's ask the CEO. Boss, did I forget anything?
Hours.
The hours of...
Doc Love the Kids.
So what is, I stayed away from the hours because is it 1 to 3, noon to 3?
No,
I think it's noon to 3.
Yeah, I think it's noon to 3 or noon to 4. Stand by.
Hold on. Doc Loves the Kids.
I was just going to do the same thing.
Freaking Google. Dr. Google says...
Dennis says noon to 3.
Noon to 3. All right.
Okay,
so we'll be down there from noon to 3. I'll be in it for half an hour. Tom will be in it for half an hour. Paul's going to be in it for half an hour. Lori's going to be in it for half an hour. No. Yeah. we got to fill a 3-hour stretch there, sweetheart. We've only got an hour and a half covered for. I'll do 2 half-hour stints if I need to.
Thank you.
But you got to do a half hour. Sorry, Lori. You're a member of the team. Suck it up.
I just don't want to get sunburned. I have the complexion of mayonnaise.
You have the complexion of That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I wanted to open with on the show tonight, because it's literally what is buzzing all over the media. On Friday, Paul's favorite president, orange guy, Donald Trump, met with our favorite dictator, Vladimir Putin, in Alaska. In Anchorage, Alaska. By the way, I believe they picked Anchorage so that Sarah Palin could watch the meeting from her backyard. But
anybody else hearing the Star Wars theme in their head with this whole meeting?
I don't. Look, man, I don't understand any of it. We're getting word that the sound is clipping, and I don't know. Well, sorry.
He said it was fine.
What's that?
Dennis said it was fine.
Dennis says it's fine. Well, then Paul's got bad internet again, which is normal because Paul lives in the middle of freaking nowhere. Anyway, so listen, Trump meets with Putin. They don't come to any resounding decisions on anything. Putin made some interesting comments immediately following. He talked about the fact that, or maybe it was right before, that they could figure out some kind of a nuclear treaty. They could come to some decisions about some peace process going on with Ukraine. Putin, there had been whispers that Putin might consider a ceasefire and even a cessation of all hostilities if the Ukrainians agreed to give up eastern Ukraine, which is where the Donbass region is and all of that. Zelensky's already shot that down. I suspect it's going to be a conversation that'll be held tomorrow when Trump and a whole bunch of European leaders meet with Zelensky in D.C. at the White House. It'll be interesting to see what happens. A couple quick points. I don't understand anybody who says that Trump should not be meeting with Putin. I don't understand. I understand that there's a lot of people that hate Trump. I get it. You guys all hate Trump. I'm not a huge fan. Okay. But at some point, we as a nation were asking him to lead. We were asking him to take point and do something to help make the situation better. So now he's meeting with Putin and the left is literally crapping their pants. How could he meet with Putin? Putin's a dictator. Putin's a horrible human being. Putin's awful. Putin this, Putin that. I get it. Not a fan of Putin. But the entire reason why Donald Trump was elected president was because he was supposed to serve as a leader of this country. Whether you like the schmuck or not, that was his job. And that is now exactly what he's doing. He hasn't sold the farm, at least not as of yet. Now, if a deal comes out that is gross or you don't like, then you can speak to that. Like I'm not suggesting we give blind allegiance to the orange dude. But at some point you have to give him the room to operate and the room to be president and the room to pretend like he's a diplomat and then see where it lands.
Do you really think that's the environment that we exist in now?
No,
I mean, on either side of the aisle. I'm not.
No. Listen, Donald Trump could cure cancer and the Democrats would cry about the fact that he put all those doctors out of work.
Sure.
And Donald Trump, as he said before, could murder somebody in Times Square and the Republicans would co-sign him.
Right.
Well, that person must have had it coming or something, right? So, yeah, Tom, you're right. We don't live in that environment, but I refuse to accept the fact that that's what this environment is supposed to be or that it's going to remain to be. At some point, we're going to have to get to a point where we just accept. I'm sorry, not we, because we've already accepted that on this show. We as a nation have to get to the point where y'all accept he's the president and he's doing a president's job.
Right.
Now, you can argue if it's good or bad or not, but you can't even argue that on this whole thing with Putin because nothing's been announced. They haven't come out with any decisions. They haven't announced any agreements. There's no policy changes, no nuclear deal, no plan in Ukraine has been announced. They had a conversation.
Yep.
And by the way, this is coming from the left who applauded Obama's willingness to talk with the Iranians. And by the way, Republicans, I haven't forgotten about you schmucks either. Because when Obama met with the Iranians, you guys pooped yourselves. So it is. It is.
This is
hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy of our democracy. But
well, I mean, it's the status quo for our government.
yes, it is. It is what it will be until the day we die.
Right.
Like Tom, when our time on this planet is over, this will still not have changed. It'll probably be worse, but it will not have gotten better.
I hope you're wrong. To be honest,
I'm
with
never
you.
wrong. Remember?
Well, sure. We can
I'm
talk
never
about
wrong.
that later. Yeah,
I'm never wrong.
I miss the whiteboard in the KITZ station.
I do. Oh, can we put a whiteboard up in here? Would that be? Would the owner of this fine
we-
distillery let us put a whiteboard up in here?
We'll get a whiteboard up for the show.
Okay, maybe we got a whiteboard on an easel stand we can put right behind us.
Sure.
That we just put up during the show.
Because I mean, all the whiteboard stuff at KITZ. I mean, that was great because I was right every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
And listen, when
boss.
President AOC takes the oath of office,
That's
you guys
never
are going to
gonna
pay
happen.
homage to
That's
me. You guys
never
are
gonna
gonna
happen.
pay homage to
That's
me.
never going to happen.
Never ever.
Not in 2028.
Hold on, Lori, I'm putting your camera on. Say hello to everybody, can't Lori? Lori's on camera now.
Yeah.
Hello, Lori.
And it won't happen in 2028.
It'll happen in 2028.
No, it
Your
won't.
next president, the reigning and defending president of the United States, will be one Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I don't
Wrong.
think so. I think eventually she can make it to the White House, but I don't think she will in 28. She's too young. She's too inexperienced. The average American voter
Obama was young and inexperienced when he ran.
He was not that young.
Yeah.
He was muy inexperienced.
He was a lawyer.
Well, Paul's a lawyer.
Obama had some background that AOC just doesn't have. I mean, tending a high volume bar is not political experience. I mean, yeah, you can deal with drunk people, which is like dealing with stupid politicians, I'm sure. But she doesn't have the resume for it. Yeah.
She doesn't need the resume.
She does need the
don't
resume.
need a
At the end of the day.
In the Democrat Party, you don't need a resume. You need to check some boxes. Minority, check. Woman, check. Attractive. And I know people don't like her. That's fine. But she's a good-looking girl. She's an attractive woman, which will not hurt her chances.
I agree that yes, she checks the boxes, and that's important to the Dems.
Yeah.
But that's not who's going to put her in office. It's we the people that will put her in office. And a large chunk of we the people need a resume, not a checklist.
Yeah. Alicia Beeler's in chat. She said, where's the Facebook ad? It's on Facebook. Like there's all, although she found it. Okay. Hello, Alicia. Listen, I'm not advocating. I'm not endorsing. I'm not saying she's the right person, but she is going to be the next person. And by the time we get done in 4 years of the Trump administration, people are going to vote for her like they voted for Biden. Not because anybody liked Biden, but because they were tired of the status quo after 4 years and they wanted change. And that's what's going to happen.
I would agree with you.
Thank you. I win. Good night, everybody. Great show. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
I would agree with you if Biden Harris hadn't happened. But we the people, I mean, we learned a lesson.
We did not. Listen, can I tell you?
We learned a lesson. We learned that legacy media is not trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that federally speaking, the Democrats have more allegiance to their agenda than we the people, to the point that they will lie to we the people.
Can I prove to you that Americans don't have a memory? Do you know how long it was after Watergate that a Republican president was elected? How many elections went Democrat before another Republican got back into office after Watergate?
What was it? Carter.
That
was it. Just Carter.
That was it. There was one election in 1976.
Yeah, but Carter pooped the bed.
Carter shit the bed
I get it.
bad.
I get it. But look, the American people do not have a memory, and they do not have a conscience. The general population has the attention span of a bull weevil. And
yes,
4 years of another Trump presidency is going to feel like 9 years of another Trump presidency. Because listen, if I told you guys today,
maybe, but I mean,
Trump had only been president for 7 months, would you believe it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you really? It doesn't feel like it's been way longer than that?
No.
Oh my God, it feels insurmountably longer than that to me.
You're a Democrat.
No,
that's why.
well, I'm a dog without a home.
So am I.
Oh my! I'm an
Yes,
independent.
Corey, we can put a bet on it. But in order to put a bet, you have to pick a Republican candidate as well. You can't just pick the field because that'd be cheap. So you got to pick a candidate as well. I'll pick a candidate. We'll bet 26 cents. We'll call it good. I don't even know what I was saying now. No, listen. Hold on. Let's go back to Trump.
Right.
So Trump meets with Putin on Friday.
Yes.
Trump meets with Zelensky on Monday.
Right.
What do you guys think is the what do you think is the chance that, let's say by next show, a week from tonight, and by the way, I'm going to be one dead puppy a week from tonight.
Yeah, you are.
Let's just be clear. I'm going to be an exhausted dog. Because listen, here's what I have going on. Ready? I got to be at the fair multiple days for the escape room. I've got to be at Doc Loves the Kids on Saturday. Saturday night, I have really good plans with Rick Eckert. We're going up to see a comedy show
And
with Rick Eckert.
And
I'm not going to out them if they want to announce
know,
that they're going to. I'm just not going to do that.
teasing you.
But we're going to go watch a comedy show. That's in I think it's in the U District.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I don't know. I'm right with Rick. And then after the comedy show, when we come back, Rick messaged me today and he said, "Hey, Ace Haynes wants to all hang out. Can we all hang out? We can go drinking, do some karaoke, maybe throw some hatchets. I really want you." And I told him, I said, "Look, I don't think Ace likes us." And Rick was like, "I really want you to get to know my bestie." Because me and Rick, me and Ace, man, we go way back. We used to kick it. This is literally what Rick said to me, that him and Ace Haynes used to kick it in the crib with a 40 and a blunt, yo. That's what he said. Anyway,
Sure, it wasn't a
and then so I'm gonna be out late. I'm gonna be out late on Saturday, and then it's Sunday. I gotta be up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm singing at church again. Like, I don't know when this old man is gonna sleep.
You're atoning.
I am atoning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I gotta be up at 5 because I gotta be there by 6 because we have to do rehearsal and sound
What
check
time
and all that
is
stuff.
church?
First service is at 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we got to be there at 6 so that we can do sound check, make sure all the mics and everything work and all that.
Yep.
Rick said he was away. He wants to hear what garbage I was saying. I wasn't saying anything untrue, Rick. I just said that you wanted to hang out with Ace after the comedy show. And that you and your buddy Ace used to kick it at the crib with a 40 and a blunt, yo. Anyway.
Oh, Corey said Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Paul said that too, Corey. Are you and Paul like secretly
Besties?
hanging out on the are you and Paul like Rick and Ace? Is that what this is? Like, is there anyway? It could be Rubio. I don't think it'll be Rubio out of the Republican side anyway. I mean, I think it's JD Vance.
You think he's going to be the candidate?
Yeah, for the Republicans, yeah, I think for sure. Listen, he's the
Kind of like
reigning,
Harris.
yeah, he's the reigning and defending vice president. They generally will go to the vice president by default. The last time that didn't happen, I think, was Dan Quayle, right? The last time, yeah. I mean, no, Biden didn't run, so you can't count Biden out of Obama's administration.
Newsflash.
Right.
What?
Rick said it's a long walk back from Seattle.
Listen, Rick. I am so happy that you and Ace have found this special bond, and I'm here for you, my friend. I'm here for you. Angie said Jill Stein's campaign manager. What about Jill Stein's campaign manager? You got to be more specific than that. We did have Jill Stein on the show once. Remember that? Was that before you guys, or was that after you guys?
No, I remember.
Yeah, we had Jill Stein on the show. We had Spike Cohen on the show. We've interviewed so many people you guys don't even acknowledge anymore. I don't mean
Joe
you guys. I mean the
Jorgensen.
audience.
Yeah, it was Joe Jorgensen.
Joe Jorgensen.
Yeah.
We had Spike on.
Yeah.
We had Jill Steins. We had Tovok from Star Trek, who ripped Paul the entire show. That was great. No, but in all seriousness, between now and next Sunday's show, is there any chance? Yeah, Angie said, JD Vans. Is that Jill Stein's campaign manager? I don't know what you're. I don't know.
I think that was supposed to be Vance.
That's what I said.
No, in the chat it's Vans.
Yeah, but she said it. I don't.
I think she means the current vice president.
Oh, I guess JD Vans is her campaign manager, as opposed to JD Vance, who is the vice president.
Oh, okay.
What is the chance that between now and next Sunday, there is a significant announcement made resolving or moving towards resolution the situation in the Ukraine? And question part 2 to that, if it gets denounced, how much credit does Trump get? Not how much credit does he actually receive, but how much credit do you guys think he deserves?
It depends on who you're going to talk to.
No, I'm asking you guys. If they come out in a week,
right,
and Zelensky and Putin are suddenly on the same page, they announce a free a ceasefire and a cessation of hostilities.
Mm-hmm.
Less than a week after talking to Donnie Poo,
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think he plays a role in that? If that comes to fruition, is the question.
Again, I think it's going to depend on who you ask that question to.
I'm asking you.
Okay,
I'm asking the great Tom Martin, owner and head distiller at Black Ring Spirits.
I don't know right now because we haven't heard anything from media sources anywhere as to actual content of the meeting.
They're not going to give him any props, though.
Well, somebody will. I mean, we'll get something out of Fox News, maybe Al Jazeera. Somebody somewhere will give us some real meat and potatoes.
I sense if Donald Trump took Zelensky and put his penis in a bear trap and said, I'm not going to release the bear trap until you figure out a way to compromise with Putin, the media would not give him any props for having ended the hostilities. Like, no matter what, they're going to paint him out to be an idiot in over his head with no idea what he's doing and no ability to play global politics.
Well, I more than likely, yes. Like domestic legacy media, I agree with that completely. I mean, he could go in and broker a deal that fixes everything 100%, and he still won't get credit for it. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, Kevin agrees with you too. He said the far left will condemn Trump. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, beyond that, and until we actually get some real information, some real something, it's just going to be more of the left versus right culture war, mudslinging,
maybe
waste of time.
If they announce a deal this week, I'm totally giving props to Trump, regardless of who says or does anything.
Okay, I mean
because it cannot be coincidence.
No, I mean it's a reasonable conclusion to draw.
That a week or whatever after he meets with each of them, they suddenly come to the table to make a decision.
Yeah, I don't think they will. No, I think Putin. Well, I mean, obviously Putin wants Ukraine, and I don't think the Ukrainians are willing to give up any land, and they shouldn't be.
Did you see the look on Lori's face when you said that?
What?
It was the look of bitch, please. What, Lori?
Exactly.
What, Lori?
So I'm saying that 80% Trump gets this done, but left media will not even do anything about it. They'll be orange man bad. But the smaller countries in NATO, particularly in Europe, they're already calling Trump daddy. So they're going to be like, well done, daddy.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Does it depend on what the resolution is in Ukraine?
I think the resolution is going to be the Donbass area.
God, I certainly hope not.
Do you think Ukraine's going to give up land? I think
Ukraine is going to realize that with Trump meeting with Putin, that the favor has been lost for him. So he's not going to get any more money. And so I think he's worried about that. Meanwhile, Trump is playing the rich card with Putin, going, look at all this money you're pouring in here. Why don't we just negotiate something so you can start building back up your wealth?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I mean, that was a report of what he said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the relationship between Putin and Trump, I mean that started it as soon as Trump took office. Things went sideways between Zelensky and the United States, and it. I don't think we're going to see anything in a week, because I think Ukraine and Russia are still too far apart on concessions.
I think you could see a ceasefire.
Maybe.
I think you could see a ceasefire. You could
maybe.
Huh?
Putin said no to a ceasefire.
Yeah, he has said no numerous
Yeah,
times.
he said negotiated agreement only. No.
Yeah,
ceasefire.
I don't know. I'm not saying there will be. I'm just saying I could see a pathway for a ceasefire after Trump talks to Zelensky tomorrow. You know, they have a conversation. Trump relays to Zelensky some options from Putin that could clear a path forward. And maybe they put a 30-day cessation to give them time to negotiate or something. Maybe. Somebody said in chat, Corey said in chat, both parties are going to have to lose and receive something. I don't agree. I mean, I don't think the Russians have to lose anything. They're in a position of power.
Sort of.
They're in a position of power.
Sort of.
They're in a position of power.
How do you figure?
Because right now the U.S. is trying to back out of backing Ukraine. So if all things were equal and we were still, we saw the Biden administration that was funneling money left and right to Ukraine, then I would call it a toss-up. But it's not a toss-up anymore.
No,
the U.S. is actively trying to pull out of giving any more money to Ukraine. And so that weakens Ukraine, which gives Russia an element of power.
A little bit, but I mean...
A little bit, and it grows the longer this goes on, and the U.S. is not
sort of
like they used to.
Sort of, because Russia's dealing with a hell of a body count.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this has impacted a generation of young men in Russia. They're military fighting age.
Yeah, and their birth rate was already plummeting.
I mean,
it's going to go worse.
Yeah, Russia's already had a baby bust.
Yep.
Now they've got.
Which is why, by the way, if you go onto those mail order bride sites, you can get 2 Russian brides for the price of 1. But what? I'm just a reporter, man. I just report what I find online.
Just buy one already, okay?
Well, in his case, it'd be a pair.
It'd be a pair.
But, that won't end well.
I can't get one woman happy. I'm gonna be able to keep
that
2
won't
women happy.
that won't end well.
Come on now, what are you are insane.
Yeah, but over half of the returning vets going back to Russia from the Ukrainian conflict are amputees.
Yeah,
right.
Over half. That's the ones that survived. Their death tolls of what, 250,000?
Really? Already?
Yeah. In 5 years.
Yeah. Corey said, Kevin, that's how ending a war happens. It's compromise on both sides. Corey, I agree with you on that most of the time.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah. But I think Zelensky's in a no-win situation now.
Yeah.
Because Trump is making it clear the money pit's going to dry up. And the less funds they get for a longer length of time, they don't get those funds.
Are you talking about Ukraine?
Yeah. Zelensky's going to know that his ability to negotiate is going to get weakened every single moment after that. So that unless funding Ukraine gets brought back up, right? Zelensky will never be at this level with Russia. He will their ability to negotiate will continue to crumble daily
now
without proper funding.
Now there are other nations in Europe that have stepped up and said, okay, if the United States falls off, we'll replace that funding. So Zelensky may not be dealing with a money problem.
Everything I've read is that he is.
Right. The trouble is, I mean, there's nothing that is like hard data. Everything is supposition. It's all this he said, she said, think tank nonsense. No one's like giving us real answers. We're not getting anything.
Well, look, if it were me, I would tell the Ukrainians to keep fighting.
Well, they should.
That's what. But again,
they should. I mean,
it's their homeland. It's their people.
It's their sovereignty, etc. Yeah,
they're dead sons and daughters. Like It's easy for me over here in the U.S., where we've never had a war fought on American soil, for me to say, well, you guys should fight for your homeland. I mean,
they should. We just shouldn't be paying for it. But they should absolutely be fighting for their sovereignty.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with us fighting, with us paying for some of it. I really don't.
We paid enough.
We've paid a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Biden and company were just giving blank checks. We've put enough in.
Or we can talk about the blank checks to the Middle East.
Yeah. Well, yes. We put blank checks all over the place, assuming that there's going to be a return on investment, because we don't have a blank checkbook for anything in Africa.
Yeah.
Because there's no ROI.
Well, listen, American foreign policy in Africa is fraught with like laziness and unmotivation and a large element of racism.
Yeah.
And
why?
I don't know why.
Because there's no money in it.
But there
us.
is money. There's plenty of oil in Eastern Africa.
Speculated. There's nothing developed.
Plenty of oil in Eastern Africa. Somalia's got a lot of oil. There's plenty of oil out there. But we don't get involved over there for two reasons. One, nobody in this country, not nobody, but 99% of the people in this country that are white and average citizens, right? Let's not even with this race, regardless of race, average citizens could not give 2 cents worth of interest to Africa as a continent. There's no interest there. Now, that could be racism. I don't want to attribute it to racism so much as I want to attribute it to that there's no connection. Like there's no cultural connection for most Americans to Africa. And even within African Americans, right? Most African Americans that are in this country did not come from Africa. Like, so that there's no draw or there's no connection to that part of the world for a majority of Americans to care. And secondly, it's a killing field. If we start sending troops in and we start sending resources in, you'll just keep pouring it in there. Because there's no win for that for American forces.
You mean like Afghanistan and Iraq?
I would argue it'd probably be we won Iraq.
Well, I'm just talking about places where we spent a decade or more.
Yeah, I think it'd be worse. Than
Vietnam,
the
Middle East.
I think it'd be worse than Afghanistan.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
because in that part of Africa, they don't even really care about national borders.
No.
Like, South Sudan and Ethiopia and all of that, they don't really care about national borders. They're going willy-nilly across both sides. And I think if we got military involvement in that part of the world, it would be worse than what we saw in Afghanistan.
Well, it would be
time-wise.
It would be very hard to define a role simply because, borders aren't really respected. So, what is?
Nothing.
Yeah.
No.
So, leadership, etc. I was like, okay, who are we working with? Who's going to define the mission if the United States puts boots on the ground?
Well, the mission, I guess that's the question, right? Like, what are you trying to do?
What would be the mission?
I think the mission would be, as much as you're going to hate this, the mission would have to be regime change. Like the only way we would get involved over there, I think, would be as if we are putting in leadership in those nations that we support for the hope of A, American interests, and for B, for the hope of American outcome. Like, what do we want to see happen there? We're not going to get it out of the tribal,
right? But
kind of the tribal leadership structure you see throughout that part of Africa.
Right.
You'd have to have a strong centralized government that's backed by the United States, somebody that they picked, a government that they're funding to get it up and running and hopefully make it be fruitful,
right? But
which we've not done very well at regime building.
Which government?
Oh,
because there are so many small developing nations in Africa that that's the thing. They're all so small and so developing and so underdeveloped that that's where our lack of interest in.
Oh, sure.
There's no business to be had there right now.
Oh, I see. There's a lot of business to be had there, but I just think it's an expensive business. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's
all undeveloped.
You talked about return on investment earlier,
right?
What's the ROI? Well, in that part of the country, to get what you needed out of it would take a whole lot more.
Right. There's no infrastructure built.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. So you would have to.
One, it's not safe.
Yeah. You'd have to develop years and years.
You'd have to develop everything.
Right.
Like, you would have to develop an infrastructure, police forces, cities, mechanics of how the society and the structure works.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be safe.
One of the things I was just reading.
They're driving around old Datsun trucks.
Yeah.
From 1977.
Yeah.
With machine guns mounted on the back, just like in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You're going to find very few Western companies that want to go over there and operate in that kind of a risky environment.
Agreed.
So
that's why
it's awful.
That's why America doesn't care about Africa. Yeah. I was just reading, was just reading a thing about industrial metals. So copper in the next decade, probably copper is the price of copper is going to do essentially what gold and silver have done and become absolutely
through the roof.
Yeah, ridiculous. Because as we know it now through the mining industries globally, we're beginning to find out that there is not enough copper left in the ground to pull out of the ground and refine to electrify the rest of Africa. There is not enough there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know,
supply and demand, baby, supply and demand.
Right. Africa's missing so much infrastructure. So trying to build any industry there is, you know, it's going to be very, very expensive.
Yeah. So Angie said that Africa has modern cities. You're absolutely right that they do. But 95% of Africa is not a modern city. And again, like we talked about earlier, take notes, will be a quiz later. The borders aren't respected. There are lines on a map that nobody over there cares about. A lot of, once you get out of the major cities, it's all tribal governments, right? And so, yeah, I mean, there are some pretty significant cities in Africa. But if you're gonna try to grow the country and ensure any kind of security, that security has to spread outside of the cities, and it doesn't in Africa. It doesn't.
Well,
and if you want to pretend like a predominant of Africans in that continent are not like destitutely poor, a majority of them are. A majority of them are. And that's not a racial statement. It's a statement of what those ruling governments and the tribes and all the tribal leaders and all of that have done. They have oppressed those people for so long and not allowed growth and restricted how much of the West comes in and all of that. And then it is like Vietnam to me. My opinion, it would be like Vietnam on steroids. Like us trying to go into Vietnam and trying to institute any kind of a change in the 70s and late 60s was nearly impossible. Okay, because you were dealing with a majority of the population was just destitutely poor.
Yep.
Africa's worse. Not in the cities. You're right. In the cities, there's structures, there's bus
there's
lines,
infrastructure,
there's
and
infrastructure,
modern convenience.
Yeah, but go 5 minutes out of that, and you're in the middle of the freaking desert, or the freaking rainforest, or the freaking middle of nowhere, and the tribes are running everything. You could not pay me if I was I was in Steve Jobs, but he's no longer with us. If I was running Apple, or if I was running T-Mobile, or if I was running any of these major Fortune 500 companies. Boy, I'd be hard pressed to invest too much money in there, with the exception of getting minerals out.
See,
like get the minerals out so I can use them, but I don't want to put a lot of people down there otherwise.
Yeah, see that'll be done by smaller companies that have basically in-house security. It'll be like the old mining towns of the Old West. Yeah, a company-owned town. And everything in the town is on the dime of the company, and the only currency is company currency,
company cash. Yeah.
No, that's what development of infrastructure there will be like. The mining and roads and dams, all the big modernization efforts.
Yeah. And it still exists today.
Oh yeah.
West Virginia.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Angie said, "Oh yeah, like rural Washington, the parallels are undeniable. There are no parallels, Angie. There's no parallels. Listen, rural
leave
Washington,
the United States. You've got to travel.
You've really got to get out. You really got to get out of the country, Angie. You really need to do that. I mean, listen, parts of rural Washington are pretty backwater. Last I heard, the fine folks in the Okanagan are still using America Online dial-up to connect to the internet, but they still have the internet." Meanwhile, if you go to sub-Saharan Africa, they don't have telegraph. I mean,
there are many parts. Yeah, there are many parts of Africa that are not electrified yet.
Yeah. So okay, Liz, I'm gonna make a prediction.
Another one
because I'm always right. We talked about this before. Always right. Shut up, Lori.
Boy.
Shut up, Tom.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
always right.
Okay.
Listen, just ask Corey. Kevin's always right.
Yeah, Kevin's always right.
Ask Rick. Kevin's
Yeah,
always right.
always right.
Yeah.
Always. Always.
There will be some announcement this week. I don't think it'll be a huge. I don't think it'll be a huge announcement, but I think it'll be a progressional announcement.
For Africa?
Something. So no. I'm going back to Trump and Zelensky and Putin. There will be some kind of an announcement this week. It's not going to solve everything, but something that incrementally starts to move them in the right direction.
The right direction.
The right.
So you're going to be specific about this.
The right direction. So something, some kind of an announcement that's going to be
about peace and rebuilding
towards at least peace. I'm afraid to say rebuilding because rebuilding is a subjective term.
I mean, that's going to take time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think something's coming. I think
Kevin, I hope you're right, but honestly,
it could be a really fragile deal too. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to hold up, but I think there's going to be an announcement this week. I think that Trump is too much of an ego to have made all of these really loud efforts, right? And made a lot of noise and a lot of chaos behind it for him not to have felt relatively confident that he's going to have something that comes out of it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like something's coming. Dennis is trying to invite us all to a group video chat. And I don't know why he's doing that because he knows that we're on the show. I don't know, Dennis.
Sorry, Dennis. Can't have it right now.
Hey, but
he must have bumped his phone.
Yeah.
Nancy,
Nancy called me too.
Did she? Hey, Nancy. How you doing, baby?
Just a few
By the way,
minutes ago.
Nancy is Tom's aunt, and we've had a fling going on for quite a while here, and Junior's not very happy about it. But Nancy, how you doing, baby? Anyway,
you have no idea.
Anyway,
how badly she would kick your ass.
Nancy. Abuse me, Nancy. All right. Anyway, it's 7:47. I'm already sticking my feet in my mouth. That's perfect. Yeah, Corey said that's why they're meeting tomorrow because of how Friday went. I would agree with Corey. Mm-hmm. I think that Zelensky saw the meeting and was like, "Crap, Trump is going to figure something out with Putin, and I got to get my foot in the door before it gets closed on me."
Yep.
So yeah, I think something gets announced this week. Again, I don't think it's the end all be all, right? I don't think this is the end of it. I don't think that peace is achieved. I don't think Zelensky's going to give up any territory. I don't think anything of that is coming yet. I just think that this week they're going to announce something that's going to indicate that things are moving in the right direction to get a close to this thing with Ukraine.
Yeah, maybe. I think just having followed it since the start and kind of trying to keep an eye and ear on it. I don't think Zelensky or anyone in Ukraine, for that matter, is going to be willing to give up any land.
Also, your aunt said, "Tommy, hush while you're ahead, babe." You know what that means?
I don't even want to know.
She likes it when I'm like, "How you doing?
I don't even.
How you doing, baby? How you doing, Nancy? How's Tommy's auntie doing, Nancy? All right. Anyway, the other thing, really quickly, in 10 minutes.
Tom's blushing.
We talked about this briefly last week, but in 10 minutes before we get off of Trump, which is
phrasing,
which is what that Russian prostitute said. Before we can get off of Trump, 10 minutes is about 8 minutes longer than he lasted. So Trump has agreed to allow U.S. military to get involved in Central America. Earlier this week, he dispatched either Coast Guard or Navy or both forces into the Caribbean to deal with drug cartels that are running drugs by boat through that part of the world. Does anybody have an issue with him doing this? I don't mean the Caribbean because that's international waters. That's fun. But does anybody have an issue if we suddenly find out that some Green Berets were tasked to go into Venezuela and take out some drug cartels? Does anybody have an issue with it? Because I'm suddenly okay with it. I wasn't okay with it last Sunday. Last Sunday I had concerns, but the more I've thought about it over the last week,
my knee-jerk response is actually the the opinion of the country, right? You know,
Mhm.
the individual nation's sovereignty. I mean, if they're not in agreement, it's an act of war, and I have a
Right.
problem with that.
Okay.
Right. I mean, yeah, I have a problem with, you know, fentanyl getting piped onto our streets too, coming across the southern border.
Mm-hmm.
But
As do I.
yeah, but we have to play the game. We have to respect the sovereignty of our neighbors. So you know, if we say, "Hey, Mexico," "Hey, Venezuela," whatever, we're going to drop, you know, a couple of teams off in the jungles in your whatever backyard,
Mhm.
and they say no. Okay, no. But I mean, that has to come with accountability
Let me
too.
ask you a question.
So well, hang on. So we
Okay.
got to tell them, all right, if you're not going to let us come help clean up the mess, clean up the mess.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I mean, yeah, there's got to be
And if
accountability.
they don't, then what?
Well, then it, you know, becomes a job for the State Department. You know, negotiation,
Okay.
diplomacy.
So do you have a comment, Lori? Were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Lori.
Go.
I think.
We allow women to talk on this show when Paul's not here. When Paul's here, when Paul's here, women aren't allowed to
Kevin.
say anything. But when Paul's gone, we encourage equality on this show. Go ahead, Lori. We
think
value you as a woman. Please share.
my opinion is this a protectionist?
Oh, I thought you were giving your opinion about
policy?
something in the kitchen. What? I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Just kidding.
Kevin.
Just playing. Go ahead. Go
Kevin.
ahead. Sorry.
No, is this a protectionist policy for like the Sackler family and other families and big pharma who already produce these drugs? So
Okay.
that's one thing. Yeah. Do we need to get the drug cartels out of our streets with their product? Yes. Should we be going into the countries to do that? Only at their invitation or negotiation?
Okay. I'm going to disagree with both of you, and I'll tell you why.
Go for it.
We've been asking these other nations for decades to clean up their issues with the cartels.
Agreed.
Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, El Salvador with their gang activity, all of it. We've been asking.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, like Tom, I'm going to use you for example. Let's say you're living next to Lori.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor.
Lori's your neighbor. And every day she's throwing garbage into your yard over the fence.
Okay.
Every day she's throwing garbage up over there.
Yeah.
Then
I know better. He'd throw
then-
it right back with
then-
other stuff.
then her kids are coming across your fence line.
Sure.
And they're vandalizing, they're doing stuff, and then they go back over. The cops refuse to do anything.
Sure.
Are you just going to allow that to happen?
No.
Or are you eventually going to have to take matters into your own hands?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that has to start with the State Department. It's got to start with diplomacy. Yeah. We've had uncontrolled borders and you know, uncontrolled black market coming across the border for a long time.
Let's not make it racial, Tom.
Sure.
Okay.
But what kind of effort have we really put into stopping it? Either, you know, law enforcement wise, border patrol kind of thing, or diplomacy.
Okay, but do you think in the next 3.5 years they're even going to negotiate with Trump? Like the Mexican president, she's made it clear
Right.
she don't like Trump and she ain't
Yep.
going to talk to him and she's
Right.
going to have nothing to do with him.
Right.
So if her response to the State Department is, I'm not going to negotiate with this administration, talk to me when there's somebody else in office, are we going to
Yeah.
ignore it for 3.5 years?
No, there's got to be accountability
Yeah.
for your behavior.
Yeah.
Yes. So and that's got to be part of that State Department conversation. Like, yeah, okay, you know, and here are the problems. Here is your accountability. How are
Mhm.
we going to fix it?
Yeah, but what are we doing about Canada?
Like, I kind of feel bad for the Canadians.
No. Most of the drug cartels are shipping to Canada and coming down through our
Down south,
northern
yeah.
border.
It's an easier border
Yeah.
to move through.
Yeah, and
Oh, it
Canada
is, yeah.
doesn't check. BC doesn't even check shipments at all.
Well, on top of that,
There was a huge Sean Ryan podcast episode about it with
Well,
a reporter.
and on top of that, even if they were,
Mhm.
what is it? 98% of the Canadian border is not fenced or restricted at all.
Correct.
Like most of it is, you know, where the border crossings are at is something, but literally you can go into northwestern Washington and walk across the border,
Yes, you can.
you know, and
Or you can kayak into Canada.
well, I'm not a fan of Canada.
Mhm.
Like, I've been there enough. I've seen it enough. Like Victoria is a gorgeous little town. Gorgeous. But there's nothing about Canada that makes me like, can we please maintain like really great relations with them? Like, it would be great if we can stay peaceful and cool and everything, but I'm not going to break the bank trying to keep them happy or appease them.
Have you enjoyed some poutine after a night of drinking?
No.
No, you need to.
I don't think I've ever had poutine.
It's actually
It's
really
just gravy on fries, right?
a little cheese. It's delicious.
I've never had it
Oh,
before.
it's delicious.
I've never had poutine.
Oh, you should try it.
I'll look up a poutine recipe.
Okay.
And Lori can make poutine.
No.
Well, you're the one that brings food into the show every week, so I don't want to take your job from you.
You can.
I can?
Yeah, go for it.
No.
Bring some meat.
This is what happens. Your little woman be on the show. They have a role, and they want to give up the role and make the man take over the role.
Don't. You're looking at me like you're trying to, like pull me into the.
I am. I'm totally.
I noticed.
I totally am. No, listen. I'm totally okay with it. Listen, at some point, you're Mexico, you're El Salvador, you're Venezuela, you're Colombia, you're Panama, you're Nicaragua. You know that you have this in your backyard.
Sure.
And at some level, I think in a lot of those countries, the government's being propped up by the cartels.
Yes.
So they're never going to give permission as a government because the cartel's giving them so much money.
Mhm.
And the leadership are in the back pocket.
Well, that was one of the things I was reading about with the with regard to the Mexican government, the Colombian government, and the issues we're dealing with now.
Mhm.
So
Now you better make sure your intel's good. You know, if you send Green Berets down there to take care of a compound of drug smugglers, and it turns out later it was a convent, and no drugs were involved, that's an international incident you can never get back.
That's
so
true.
you have to make sure your intel's good. But if you've got really solid intel, I got no issue sending a couple of Apache attack helicopters down there and taking care of it. Because those nations are not going to negotiate with us. We've been discussing the war on drugs since the 80s.
Right.
It has not resolved. In most of Mexico, the cartels run the place. You know, get out of Mexico City, get out of that.
Mhm.
But even in Ensenada and Cabo, the numbers of kidnappings that are happening of foreign tourists that are being held for ransom by the cartels so they can get money to fund their stuff.
Oh yeah.
So Mexico doesn't even run their own country. I'm not going to negotiate with
No,
them
it's like
for something they can't control.
Yeah, like New York City in the 90s.
Yeah.
The mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
But that
or the
that
80s and 90s.
That would be like me going to California and telling California, hey, I need to negotiate with you about what's going on with Arizona. California's got no say over Arizona, and the Mexican government has very little say about what happens outside of Mexico City, especially in the middle of the desert and those desert communities. And central Mexico is run by the cartels. So it doesn't matter what the female president of Mexico says. It matters what the cartels say, and they ain't negotiating, Lauren.
Kevin,
Yes.
if we do that, then are we treating Mexico as the 51st state? How are they going to exist without the drug cartels?
I have no idea. It's not my fault. Not my
no,
problem.
I know it's not your fault, not your problem. But yeah, I mean, if the U.S. is crossing sovereign territory, and then we're taking care of the problem, you don't think that there's another family or another drug cartel that's ready to, jump right back in?
No.
You don't think
No,
so?
because I think at some point, listen, what regulated the Wild West? Right? The Wild West was complete chaos.
Yeah.
You do what you want to, wherever you want to. There is no law. And the minute law showed up, things took a little bit, but then they came in line.
Right. But
And
if,
in Mexico,
if
it'd be the
we're
same.
the law,
Right. And in Mexico, it'll be the same thing.
no.
There will be cartels in Mexico that leave Mexico rather than deal with the U.S.
Yeah.
They will go further south.
For a while.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing is Mexico doesn't govern themselves.
Yeah.
They gave up long ago. So even if we get rid of the cartels, drive them out, whatever you want to call it, they're not going to have that infrastructure. They're just as corrupt.
The cartels aren't going anywhere though, right? They're not going to go farther south. They're going to stay close to the U.S. border because their market is the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean that's
But if you
where they're
start
making their
sending-
money.
But if you start sending U.S. troops down there,
Yeah.
Apache attack helicopters, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
and you start taking them out,
Yeah.
they're going to go somewhere else.
The leadership will.
I think it'll all go.
No.
If you
Because
start
they have to
damaging
get-
their supply lines and they can't get drugs into this country because we're messing with them in Mexico, they'll go somewhere else and try to figure out other ways to get it here on boats, planes,
Right. But
carrier pigeon.
they're not going to stop trying to move product into the United States.
Yeah.
This is their market.
Yeah.
Agreed. We just got to make it harder on them.
So are we going to bomb the warehouses
Yeah.
China has for fentanyl?
If they are illegal facilities,
Well, they're legal in Mexico.
is the fentanyl in those warehouses coming across the border through cartels?
Yeah.
Then
It's
we bomb the crap out of them.
China brings the precursor, and then Mexico drug cartels put it all together.
Well, look,
China owns the warehouses.
I hear you. I give two craps about China
Oh, I know.
because China, by the way, wouldn't allow this to happen. They wouldn't allow stuff to come across the border from Nepal or from India like this. They would put their foot down.
Yeah.
They would dispatch troops. Like, I love it when other nations behave in the opposite way that they tell us they want us to behave.
Right.
Like, I don't know who you think you are.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the tariff conversation, right? Because the United States has had historically, we've had rather low tariffs on imports.
Yeah.
But our exports don't see the same courtesy. So and it wasn't until recently where we actually started talking about tariffs that it becomes, a problem.
Well, I think you have to cut the head off the snake. And if you don't cut the head off the snake, then the snake's always going to be there. And so I think you have to go in there. You have to level some stuff out. You have to take out some cartels. You got to blow up some warehouses. You got to destroy the infrastructure that allows the drugs to be moved around the way like they have been. And then you make it not cost effective for them to send the drugs this way, or safe.
Yeah, I think
send Jethro Leroy Gibbs as a sniper. I'm serious, and start taking some of these cartel heads out.
It just, it's a supply and demand thing, right? And the demand in the United States for cheap fentanyl is big.
Yeah, but if you can't live as the guy supplying that, if you can't, then they're going to lose people that don't even want to be a part of it because it's too risky.
Right.
Start snipering them. And I don't want to hear about this where you're basically passing judgment. Yeah, you are. But those cartels are killing hundreds of thousands, if not more, of Americans every single year.
Yeah.
And they're making money off of it, and they're surviving, and they're not under threat because they're Mexico. Mexico won't enforce it. It's time the U.S. enforced it.
It's one way to look at it.
That's my thought. All right, we're going to take a break. This is just a quick bumper break. We're not going to play commercials because I don't know how to do that. But we'll take a quick minute break. People can use the restroom. We'll get something to drink or whatever. We'll come back in a few minutes. We'll talk about some other stuff, including a reminder about what's going on this Saturday.
Yeah, F-bombs in the chat. I'm sorry, honey. I'm drinking all of your cranberry clementine seltzer water. It's really good.
And the divorce is coming. Outlaw Radio. Back after this, 60 seconds right here on Mega Talk. What? Did I just say Mega Talk?
Yes, you did.
Holy
Stop
cow.
it.
We haven't been on Mega Talk for months. It's Outlaw Radio from
Network.com.
From Black Ring Spirit. So back after this. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
It's good to feel alive, burning with desire at your lips that lit the fire. Girl, you drive me wild. It's not about the destination. It's all about the revelation. Our love lies in back on the knee. You gotta live for every moment. From caution to the wind, talking about love lies in bad company. Oh, it's not about the hesitation. It's all about the inspiration. Talking about love lies in bad company. You gotta live like it's your last day. Like nothing's gonna stand in your way. Talking about love lies in bad company. Your pocket dialed me from LA. You sounded like you're drunk, but thanks to you, I'm wide awake. Replaying what went wrong. It hurts like hell. Remembering all too well. That little bus bed at your mama's where you promised me. You couldn't have said more honestly, we never see. I know time can heal wounds, but you're not supposed to lie. When you're
All right, Outlaw Radio. I'm just playing a playlist of royalty-free stuff off of Spotify tonight because I don't have access to all the cool toys Dennis has. So I apologize for the lame song. All right, Outlaw Radio, second hour underway. Thanks for checking out the show. Black Tom.
Hey there.
Lori.
I waved. Hi.
Well, you have to remember this is like the
Sorry.
sound
Hello.
and video. Like you've got to say hello or hi or F off or whatever. All right, fair enough. K-Dog. Paul's supposed to be joining us at some point, I think, or not. Again, big announcement coming up next Sunday. We're going to add a new member to the team.
We have a new outlaw.
New Outlaw will be coming on board to the team. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's
Are they going to do a shift in the dunk tank?
They are not.
You sure?
They have plans that day. I was just actually speaking to them about it
Okay.
online. Yeah, they have plans that day. So
I'm trying.
yeah. Don't forget about Lori's Beads, by the way, lori'sbeads.com. Get all the beads that make you be the bead, whatever. Lori's Beads, proud sponsor of
the Outlaw Radio Network.
The Greg Wheeler for re-election campaign. All right. Sorry, Greg. Sorry, Mayor Wheeler.
What?
Just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just being funny. By the way, Paul and I were both right. We announced that Marwan really didn't have a lot of a shot at the primaries.
Unfortunately.
Because it wasn't a good guy or a good candidate. Like we really liked him, but the whole I'm an advocate for the poor and disenfranchised in the community doesn't usually bode very well when you're running for office because the community that knows you doesn't usually vote. So Marwan, who would have been great, and I would hope, like I said on the show, I think it was last week, maybe the week before, I would hope that somebody from the city, whoever wins the next mayoral election, the first person they call is Marwan and say, would you like a job?
Yeah.
That would be really smart.
Yeah. Can you come in and spearhead some of our efforts with the homeless? Because clearly the city hasn't really handled it well. I mean, the one thing that Mayor Wheeler has on his face right now is the fact that the city of Bremerton dropped the ball when it came to handling the homeless issue downtown. And Wheeler wanted to put them on property somewhere else, and then they couldn't do it. And now they want to put them out by Oyster Bay onto City Works property, and that's a grand idea, but it's not, because you can't force them to go anywhere. And a lot of them don't want to go where you want them to go. They want to be left alone on their own. And you can argue whether or not they should be, but they don't want to live where the city wants them to live. They want to live where they're at with their tent and their friends. So unless you plan on rounding them up like illegals and busing them out to the homeless shelter area, they're not going to go willingly. And the courts have made it clear there's very little you can do to hold them accountable if they're not breaking the law otherwise. So they're just hanging out on a sidewalk. There's very little you can do. And so the city has not reacted in a way that's really made much of a difference downtown. They've just closed off streets and they've made them move at other places. Meanwhile, up in Paulsbo, they've come up with some really good ideas how to offset some of this and do some housing situations and things like that. Rick Eckert's talked about it several times. So Paulsbo, one of the smallest cities on the peninsula, has figured out a way to do something, even though they have a much smaller budget, I would think, than the city of Bremerton. And meanwhile, the city of Bremerton is still kind of flailing in the wind about how to handle the homeless issue downtown.
Well, one of the things about being small,
yes,
is you're nimble. So
Mhm.
you're able to pivot quickly. You're able to change things quickly because you have less momentum, if you
Mhm.
will, in one direction, and you have fewer brains that you need to get a message to about, hey, we're gonna turn 30 degrees to the right.
Sure.
So
But you also have less funds.
True. True.
So
Very true.
So Paulsbo's budgetary constraints are way smaller than Bremerton's.
Sure.
And so if Paulsbo can figure some things out, how
Yeah.
is Bremerton not able to figure some things out?
Because I
How
think
is Port Orchard not able to figure some things out?
Well, I think those are two different, sets of problems, right? I mean, Bremerton is significantly larger than
Mhm.
Paulsbo. I mean, we've heard Rick talk about that. The city limits of Paulsbo are just they're not that big,
No, they're not.
right? So there's not really that much geography that needs to be dealt with.
And Bremerton has another disadvantage that is fair to bring up, which is all the services are in Bremerton. So if you're
Right.
homeless, you're going to want to live close to where the services are.
Sure.
And so you're going to relocate into Bremerton. Even if you are from the north end or the south end, you're going to try to go closer where the services are.
Yep. Yep.
And the services are in Bremerton.
And
Even
you
though
can
the county seat is in Port Orchard.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about Port Orchard too, right?
Kind of.
I mean, Port Orchard city limits are not that big, and unincorporated South Kitsap is
Massive.
sizable. It's
That's
sizable,
huge, yeah.
yeah. So trying to reach parts of the county that are remote, that's just more difficulty.
So a couple comments. Rick said 4.8 square miles is how big Paulsbo is, and it doesn't even feel that big. Like I love Paulsbo, so I go to Paulsbo once a month because I have an errand I got to run up there once a month, and then I stop off at Sly's and get some Viking cups, which are the best things in the world. If you live anywhere in the county and you have not had Sly's Bakery Viking cups, you're an idiot, and you need to repent. But Paul, I love Paulsbo. Like, don't tell Rick this, Rick, close your ears. But I love Paulsbo. I love the feel downtown. I love the little walking area off the water for the main city street. It just feels really kind of homey to me.
I would love Port Orchard to develop that same feel.
Oh,
it doesn't have to be the same,
Yeah.
like the Bavarian look or whatever, but
I think that Paulsbo's been very
I guess
intentional
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And they have a one mind as far as their branding, their look for the city.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing. I mean, Kingston kind of has their thing, but Bremerton's missing that. Port Orchard's missing that. Bremerton is a smorgasbord of a city, and they need to just fully come into their own and
Well-
own it. We're a city. We're
Yeah.
diverse. We have a lot going on.
Yeah, I think Bremerton is kind of embraced, their relationship with the Navy for their identity. I mean, they have a little bit, but that smorgasbord you're talking about, that is South Kitsap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're so confused.
Yeah.
We are so confused.
Yeah.
Nancy, hello Nancy, how you doing, baby? Asked
There he
if
goes again.
Bremerton is a council mayor set up, or do the citizens elect the mayor? Citizens elect the city council members, and they elect the mayor as well. And so Jeff Coughlin and Greg Wheeler are going to be on the ballot for November. Greg, the incumbent, Jeff, the long time, well, not long time, but he's been on the city council for a little bit now. Can I speak honestly at the risk of upsetting people?
Sure, go
Do
ahead.
it.
I don't feel inclined to want to vote for either one of them.
Oh.
What, Wheeler or
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the deal.
Yeah, but you're
Anything-
not in Bremerton.
I own property in Bremerton, though. I own a house in Bremerton. I should be able to vote in Bremerton because the decisions made in Bremerton directly influence the fact that I have property there. I should be able to vote.
hey, I should be able to vote in
You
Port
should,
Orchard because I
you
own a business,
you own a
in Port Orchard
and
city limits,
you
but I
should be able to.
I
You
don't
should.
get to vote.
because you have a vested interest in what happens in the city, so you should be able to vote. I never understood that. I'm not really inclined to vote for either one of them, and not that I dislike either one of them, but at this moment, any argument you could make for one, you can make about the other.
Right.
Oh, well, we haven't handled the homeless issue. Well, is that Greg's fault or is that the council's fault? And Coughlin's on the council. Oh, well, taxes are still high. Is that Greg's fault or is that the council's fault? Oh, permitting takes forever. Is that Greg's fault or is that the council's fault? Like, everything that you can say is not going well, you can blame on the council, which Jeff Coughlin sits on, or on Mayor Greg Wheeler. You cannot divide the two of them out.
Right.
Additionally, anything going well in the city of Bremerton, you can very easily attribute to either one of them. Oh, Quincy Square is amazing, which it is, by the way. I think Quincy Square was really well done and really nice. Okay, that's great. Is that because of Mayor Wheeler, or is that because of the council, which Jeff Coughlin is on? Like, to me, this is 6 of one, a half dozen of another.
Right.
So I don't feel an inclination to want to vote for either one of them, because I don't know what would be different. You know, my question to Coughlin would be, if you wanted to force change, why are you running for mayor? Why didn't you do it when you were a city council member, which you are right now? So why don't you make change now? And my thing to Wheeler is, if you think this needed to be changed, you've been in office for this, what is this, 8 years now? Why didn't you fix it? Why are you running on fixing it now? Why didn't you fix it before? And I don't dislike either one of them. Like, I on a personal level, I like Mayor Wheeler. You know, I don't know Jeff Coughlin very well, so I'm not knocking either one of them. I like Mayor Wheeler. You know, we have a good, cordial relationship. He's a friendly guy. He seems like a good guy, a wonderful husband. He's a Bremertonian from way back. You know, he's been here for a long time, worked in the shipyard. Coughlin just moved here a few years ago. I believe it was 15 years. Yeah. Was it 15 years ago?
Yep.
Okay. So I don't dislike either one of them. But boy, neither one of them make me feel like, oh my God, I got to vote for you. Because it feels like it's second verse, same as the first. Which, by the way, is what we got when we elected Greg Wheeler. What was he? He was a member of the city council running against Mayor Lent. And so the city council dude beats the mayor, and then the city council dude takes over. And what happens? So do we have any guarantee this is going to be different? Of course we don't.
Yeah.
I would have almost rather have seen Marwan make it. Because then we would have seen something different. Now, whether that would have worked or not is beyond me. Right. But recycling the same ideas and recycling people that have been in city office and city government for a little while with the expectation that we're going to get a different result from the formula doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Do you know, I have no idea about Bremerton. Do you know if the city council is also up for election in whole or part?
Some are not, but they stilt them out. So the only one that I think was up for election was District 2, I think, which is the one that what's his name? He was on the show with Doc.
Ash Black.
Ash Black was running for and didn't make it out of the primaries.
Okay,
but they don't elect the entire council at the same time.
Okay, so I wasn't sure about that for Bremerton. It at this point in time, it sounds like that might actually be advantageous for the city of Bremerton to just have a fresh start, you know, new council positions, new mayor.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. But again,
I mean, Port Orchard
new
could
mayor,
use that.
If the new mayor comes from one of the council positions you're advocating to go new, that's not really new change. That's just reshuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic.
Well, that's why I was suggesting that, you know, a whole new council and a new mayor, and maybe the mayor might have been a former council member, and that could be advantageous at that point. You know, if you've got new blood coming in all the way around.
Rick said half of the Bremerton city ones are up. They just didn't have primaries. Okay, that's probably true. I don't spend a lot of time in the city council stuff in Bremerton because I just don't care that much.
Well, you don't have a say. We have plenty of other things to try to keep track of.
Well, and I just don't care that much. Like, as a general rule, I'm not going to learn enough about the candidates running for city council to determine if they're worth a vote or not. Like, there's no in-depth reporting about what they stand for, and you know what I mean? So you can only base them off of what you see them do and where they vote once they're in.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to ascertain anything about even Ash Black, whom I liked, but I couldn't tell you if he would have been a good city council member or not because I've got nothing to base it off of. I was all for giving him a chance because what's the worst thing you're going to get? 4 more years of what you've already gotten from the Bremerton City Council, which is a butt ton of inactivity. An unwillingness to address anything, not to answer any questions, not to move forward, and then to blame it on Wheeler.
That seems to kind of be the city council in Port Orchard too.
Yeah, well,
in a different sort of way. Bremerton seems inactive. Port Orchard seems misdirected.
Yeah. Rick said Jeff's seat will be a turnover for sure. He has to run for one or the other. That's the seat that Ash was running for. So Coughlin's either going to be mayor or not in the city council anymore.
Okay.
Mike said exactly, Kevin. Thank you for agreeing with me. That's where the show should end every night. If they wanted to do something, they're in place to do it. Why have they not done anything? Again, exactly. Like I would have almost rather have seen Marwan make it out of the primary over one of them. And again, it's not that I don't like them, but you can't, excuse my language, you can't shit in a bucket and then shit in a bucket again and think you're going to get a different result. It's still shit in a bucket. Okay. You're not going to shit in a bucket. It's going to come out as roses. It's still going to be poop in a bucket. You know what I mean? So if we keep electing retreads, whether we elect the same mayor again, or we elect this person on the city council and make them mayor, you're still putting people in that have been a part of the city government for years. How are you fixing anything? And by the way, the situation in Port Orchard is mind-boggling to me because I look at Paulsbo, and I'm not kissing ass because I like Rick. Okay.
But we do like Rick.
We do like Rick.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at what Paulsbo's doing and it makes sense to me.
Regard to what?
Just everything. That downtown is walkable, enjoyable, clean, safe, hospitable, unthreatening, attractive to business.
Mm-hmm.
Walk down Front Street in Paulsbo.
Oh, agreed.
You'd be hard pressed to find an empty storefront.
Yeah.
Walk down Bay Street in Port Orchard. You see nothing but open storefronts. I mean, not nothing, but you see a lot of open storefronts.
There's a few.
That mercantile building they put in where J.A. Michaels used to be is nearly completely empty.
It is now, yeah.
Nearly completely empty. Yeah. Where the restaurant was, whatever that restaurant was on the corner, they rebuilt it and then they boarded up the windows and nobody even wants to be in there.
Oh, Myri's?
Myri's, yeah.
No, that hasn't been rebuilt.
I thought it was rebuilt on the inside.
No, they did some
the outside.
Yeah, they did some very minimal safety improvements following the fire that went through the kitchen. But as I've heard it, the owner of the building isn't interested in putting any money into it.
Then they need to find his ass every day. I look at Paulsbo and I see a city with a vision for that they're going to handle their downtown. Paulsbo and Port Orchard are a lot alike.
Yeah.
Relatively smaller communities.
Yep.
Walkable downtown, right on the waterfront, marina close by, access to amenities and transit and all that good stuff. And you look at Paulsbo and I say, Paulsbo, that town feels like they've got it figured out. I look at Port Orchard and I don't know how Rob Patonsu gets reelected for mayor. Like literally, I don't know what he does.
When
I literally think he shows up, goes into his office every day, closes the door, plays Candy Crush on his phone until 4:30 p.m. hits, and then he goes home.
When has Port Orchard's waterfront ever been like nice, like walkable, like Paulsbo?
Well, it's walkable now. I mean, it is walkable now. And they did that really cool little walking track that goes down around past the hotel and all the way down behind the.
Yeah, but even that there was some nonsense with the council.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but there was some eminent domain exercised.
Sure.
And it was not done right.
Yeah. And Rick says, look at Paulsbo Front Street 12 to 15 years ago. That's my point, though. Paulsbo had a vision, enacted the vision. They moved it the right direction. And I was in Paulsbo last Monday during the middle of the day.
Okay.
On a Monday for my monthly trip up there to pick something up.
Sure.
No, it's not weed, Dennis. Settle down. And there were all kinds of people downtown.
Yeah.
In a late Monday morning.
Yeah.
Not a tourist trap day, just a late Monday morning. There were all kinds of people wandering around downtown, shopping in the shops that are way more expensive than they should be, going into Sly's Bakery. Sly's Bakery had a line out the door.
They always have a line out the door.
On a Monday at 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, Paulsbo knows what they're doing. Port Orchard has no clue. Absolutely zero clue. And I would argue the city of Bremerton has no clue. Drive down Whedon Way, which should be hopping for the city of Bremerton.
Mm-hmm.
Empty storefront, empty storefront, empty storefront, empty. And by the way, all the empty storefronts look abandoned.
Yeah.
The old Sizzler building looks like the homeless people have been trying to encamp in there for years.
Right.
The former Denny's, which used to be Caesar's restaurant or whatever it was across the street, looks literally like it's a meth house.
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about a lot of the buildings on Mile Hill.
You certainly can.
Mile Hill used to be the old like commerce center for Port Orchard. I mean, it's all gone out by it's gone out to Bethel and Sedgwick and the other side of highway. What is that? 16.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think that one thing we need to take into consideration is 2020. I mean, winners and losers were picked by the governor.
Absolutely.
So we lost a lot of businesses. We lost a lot of mom and pop businesses that
I don't
reopen.
disagree with that, but go to Paulsbo.
Yeah, I know.
And that's all it is on Front Street is mom and pop businesses and small businesses
Because
and
they
boutique shops. And
they made a decision.
yeah. Well, then Port Orchard needs to get on the stick.
Oh, I agree. Port Orchard has more opportunity in my mind than Paulsbo. Because you can access it by bus, you can get there by car, and you can get there from Bremerton by the fast ferry.
And we're close to Tacoma. I mean, there are plenty of reasons.
Right.
There's not plenty of reasons. There's plenty of surrounding stuff.
Yeah.
We just have to. Port Orchard needs to give some reasons
because
to show up.
Is really lacking the opportunities. I mean, you can take a bus from here, but literally it's 3 hours.
It's a long. Well, I don't know if it's 3 hours, but it's a long ass drive.
Bainbridge Ferry, you have to cross over from Bainbridge Island to get to Paulsbo, or you can drive to Paulsbo. But I mean, they don't have a ferry directly there. No. And they're in a smaller area as far as land and people.
And the traffic, if you're going to commute into Paulsbo, the traffic is horrible.
Oh, yeah.
If you're coming on and off Bainbridge, if you're going on and off Bainbridge, it's a 2-lane road off of Bainbridge. I'm not sure how the hell that happens with the amount of cars that are up there, how they are still only a 2. I know why it's only a 2-lane road. Bainbridge doesn't want it to be any bigger.
Nope.
But you couldn't pay me to live. When I lived in Paulsbo in 2006, there's no way I would have taken the job in Seattle that I took when I took the job in 2010. Would have never happened because I'm not going to deal with the traffic and the issues getting on and off of Bainbridge.
Yeah.
But Paulsbo's got to figure it out. But listen, Paulsbo was so smart about it. They have a massive church in downtown Paulsbo. And rather than run away from making a connection with the church, they worked out a deal with the church to use their parking lot as a parking ride for a major bus stop downtown to make it easier for people to get around and reduce the amount of traffic in Paulsbo. Yep. I guess the city was like, oh my God, a church, let's work with them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, most other cities are like, oh my God, a church, we need to distance ourselves. We can't buddy up with a church.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that we wouldn't look like we're nice to Christians. Mike says, look at Paulsbo's Fish Line. They have showers for homeless, a nice food bank, and other resources for the homeless and low-income families. Yes and no. They have all of those, but they have far less to serve than the city of Bremerton does. Yes. But yeah, I mean, Paulsbo's Fish Line is doing a bang-up job up north.
Sure.
I have figured out, we're going to segue to another local election here in a second. I know what the difference is between Paulsbo and Port Orchard.
Really?
I know the determining factor of why Paulsbo has been more successful in their growth, their development, their relationships, their handling of things than Port Orchard has.
I'm curious.
And when I say this, you're going to be like, oh my God, he's absolutely right.
Okay.
2 words.
Go.
Ace Haynes.
Yeah, right.
I think that Ace and Rick have worked really well together on the North End to make some of these things happen, to bring the community together. I think
you're gonna have a really fun car ride next Saturday night with Rick.
I think Rick and Ace form a really good team. Batman and Robin. I'm not sure who's Batman, but Batman and Robin. I think it's great. But that's the only thing I can. That's the only difference I can think of is Ace Haynes.
I haven't met him. I don't have a leg to stand on in this conversation. I know nothing about him other than the legends that keep showing up around, set up and tear down.
Oh man, he is he's 5 cans short of a 6-pack. I'll tell you that right now. That dude is. I give Rick a hard time, but that man is 5 cans short of a 6-pack. I swear to God. No, I honestly, it has to come down to leadership.
Uh-oh. Rick is leaving now.
No, Rick's not leaving. He's just he knows I'm giving him a hard time. It can only come down to leadership.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure why Rob Patonsu keeps getting reelected as the mayor of Port Orchard.
Well, there was
I liked Tim Mathis when Mathis was mayor of Port Orchard.
he wasn't mayor very long.
No, but I liked him.
Yeah,
And then Patonsu beat him.
Yeah.
I dated his daughter, actually. That's part of why I liked him. Anyway, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Whoops.
Yeah, you did.
Did I say that out loud? Sacrifices we make to grow the show. Anyway, go ahead, Tom. Before I get myself in more trouble.
Oh, I'm not really sure where I was going to go. So
to hell.
Yeah, well, probably.
I think that Port Orchard needs an identity. I think that they have been stuck in the Mayberry theme for far too
The
long.
Mayberry thing.
Seriously. And they're a small little city, but they haven't picked a flavor of city that they want to be.
No, I would agree that they have a branding issue for sure.
Yeah.
Because right now the only thing Port Orchard is known for is the meth capital of Washington. Like that's their
Hey.
No, that was
No, that's true.
Don't
per
forget
capita, the use of meth in Port Orchard is the highest, or was the highest per capita in the state when they did the poll, and this was quite a late teens, 2000 teens, but yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking about all the bail bondsmen that are here in Port Orchard. Don't forget them. That's a thriving industry.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
It goes with all that meth use. Get busted with meth, get arrested, bail bondsman bails you out. Go back and get some meth, get arrested, bail bondsman bails you out again. It's perfect. It's a win-win scenario.
Sure.
The other local race to talk about, which is the one I'm most interested in, even though I haven't brought it up. Michelle Caldier,
Yes.
running up against Deb. I won't even try to pronounce her last name.
Traditional son.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I know that if I mispronounce her name, that'll be disrespectful too. And
I have to break it down phonetically, but I have to have it in front of me so I can
I'm
read it.
college educated. I can't even pronounce her last name. I think Michelle Caldier is going to lose.
Damn.
Yeah, I think Michelle Caldier is going to lose. The last time we looked at the numbers, Caldier was losing by about 1.5 or something percent. She wasn't losing by a lot.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's just the primaries.
Yeah, and it's summertime voting. People are on vacation. They're like, they're going to November anyways. There's only 2 of them. Why vote?
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Republicans want a reason to be excited in this district, in this county. They want to feel like they're going to back a winner. They want to be motivated to get out and do something. They wanted to make sure that Democrats could lose a seat because of this whole supermajority issue. If this was the best Republicans were going to do in the primary, because the Democrats will be the exact same way. Well, why would we go out and vote for it? It's just the primary. We're not going to go out and force and vote for in the primary. It's not like the Democrats shot their shot and the Republicans were like, I'm just going to chill out at home because it's just the primary.
Well, but the thing is, neither did the Republicans, right? So, I mean,
but the 26th district has moved blue.
A bit. Yes, I agree with that. But with the primary, I mean, having only 2 candidates on, I don't think anyone was worried about voting. So that 1% could be a tiny bit of error one way or the other for basically a dead heat until November.
I think Michelle Caldier loses.
Damn.
And I think it'll be by 5 or 6 percentage points. I think it'll be enough that it's not really enough to be surprised about. I think she'll stay with her state rep gig because she's not up for a re-election for that until 2026. So she can lose this race and not lose her current position.
Right. Well, I mean, at least that helps with super majority issues.
Yeah, but I don't think it does.
Well, I mean,
the minute she loses a race, she becomes fallible. And then another Republican can run against her and say, look, you use that as an example.
Maybe.
Hey, if people like you so much, how come you didn't get the state Senate gig?
Maybe who though? As
Well,
far as
I don't know.
as GOP, I mean,
I don't know.
the GOP in the state's a mess. I mean, we've already talked
True.
about that.
Oh, I don't think the GOP on seats, but I think a Democrat could.
Yeah.
Sure.
In the 2026 general, I think a Democrat could. This district is moved blue.
Worried.
Huh?
I think the Dems are worried right now too.
About what?
Well, about Caldera. I mean, there's been a lot of signage. What do you want to call it? Graffiti, theft, breaking it, especially in our area.
Yeah, well,
and I mean, Hanny and I had a conversation about it, and there's been a lot going on with signs right now.
Tegan said it wouldn't surprise me if some people in that district don't even know that there is an election. Maybe. Now Tegan's from Okanagan County.
Correct.
We have something here that they don't have in Okanagan County. It's called the internet, and
damn.
And so
she's on.
I think people know.
You mean Wi-Fi?
No, I mean internet. I think that Tegan is probably connected with 2 tin cans and a piece of string, and that's how she's a part of our chat. But at least
that's
out
impressive.
Here,
then
at least out here in Kitsap County, Tegan, we have the internet, or as we like to call it, the interweb. And someday Al Gore will bring it to your neck of the woods, and you can join us.
You're so bad.
The immortal words of John Lennon, and then the world can live as one.
Isn't
go ahead, Tom.
Al Gore in a home somewhere now?
I don't even know where Al Gore is.
Oh,
Al Gore is. Al Gore is probably.
He's no spring chicken.
Remember on Futurama where they just had all the heads in the jars with and they're all alive? That's Al Gore today. Al Gore is just his head is kept in a jar in a back room somewhere. And every once in a while they'll be like, "Hey, let's hear what Al Gore has to say." I invented the internet. Thanks, Al. Great to hear from you.
Well, he's 77 years old.
Yeah. Tegan said, "You are so mean, Starlink for the win." See, you guys couldn't even get regular internet in Okanagan. You had to bring Elon Musk to bring in Starlink like you're a third world nation in the middle of being invaded by the Russians. We can't have anything else, but we can get Starlink because we're just that lost.
Oh, I don't think Ukraine's third world.
You don't think so?
No.
You wouldn't call Ukraine third world?
No.
Second world then?
They're a pretty developed nation.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. All right, let's speak to somebody who is actually in the third world. Let's see if this works, Paul, because I don't know if it's going to work or not. Hold on.
Take off my camera.
Paul, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hold on, he can. Now, hold on, I got to figure this out.
Hear us, but we can't hear him.
I cannot hear him, but I think it's something on this board. Hold on.
He did.
Okay, good.
Paul, say hello.
Paul, say hello.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Hey.
Paul, count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, I figured out where you are. Look at that. We made it work. Like Dennis isn't here, and I'm actually making things work. I deserve a raise. Somebody double what I get paid.
I think that's a good idea.
Paul, would you consider the Okanagan like a third world nation?
So, you know, I have a fascinating story about OMAC and Okanagan from when I was in high school. So I have an affinity for the area, and I'll say this: that you guys remember Tone Loesch, Jim, he and I, we were seniors in high school. We went up there. So there's a lake not far from OMAC and Okanagan called Leader Lake, and our family would go up there every single year to go fishing. It was my first experience with illegal immigrants. First place I ever, saw them, because they were using the lake. Half the lake was private, and you would see them come in, hike over the hills from Canada, and sit there by the lake with fake fishing poles, acting like they were fishing. And then a van would show up and pick them up. They'd get in the van and drive off. It was quite humorous, as my parents explained to me exactly what was going on. Now it's a stakeout location. But here's the thing. OMAC and Okanagan, incredibly small, but looking at Tegan's live feeds, definitely growing up. Definitely growing up. First crush I had in high school was with a girl from OMAC named Jennifer Lynn Lobdell. And she had 2 twin sisters, and they came up and we met them at the lake, and they were riding quads. It was a fond memory from when I was a high school kid. So,
okay, well,
not a third world country.
Yeah, what?
2.5. Two and a half.
Well, I don't know. Listen, we had a Democrat lawmaker on this show several years ago say that Belfair was a third world nation, and I would think that Belfair is ahead of Okanagan, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, not necessarily.
Wait a minute. You think Okanagan is ahead of Belfair?
It might be. Yeah.
Both locations have a Starbucks.
And a McDonald's.
There you go. Well, if they got a McDonald's, then they've really grown up out there. Listen, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful area out there, Kevin. If you've never been, like, let's pretend for a second some girl.
Too. It's still a third world nation.
Well, not in the touristy areas.
Hey, Paul, listen, we were talking earlier about the situation between the cities and the county.
Yeah, I was listening to some of that conversation. Good conversation, man. You guys made some great points.
Well, thank you. That's why we're here. Have a good night. Thanks for calling. But doesn't it feel to you like Paulsbo has a blueprint that they're following that's working, that for whatever reason the other cities in the county have not quite?
So that's a great comment. And here's what I would say. I'm willing to bet anything Rick will disagree with me on this, because, and I say that not to disagree with Rick, but Rick has a different perspective, right? He's in the trenches from a political perspective. Mm-hmm. My experience in Paulsbo, I lived in Paulsbo all through the 90s. In fact, up until 98. And so, and I was deeply ingrained there in the community, working at the Marine Science Center, working with that large nonprofit, working with the city, and all kinds of things. There was some serious corruption within Paulsbo City while I was up there in the 90s. And I will say this, I think that there is a huge difference between Paulsbo and every other city within this, or on this peninsula. Can anybody guess what that difference might be? No, nobody. No, it's the fact that they have a much higher median income up there. Much higher.
Do they?
And yeah.
And north of Silverdale.
No, hold on.
Yes.
Let me push back a little bit, Paul. You may very well be right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I would believe that because of the tribal property that's out there, that some of that is lower income as well, right? I mean, just
I don't include. Fair point, but I don't include. Listen, they've got their own economy up there in the Suquamish tribe. Okay, they have a freaking casino. Half the tribe works there. And so, and they have other things. The Dr. Paul Dorn and his salmon run that were up there, his salmon restoration project, the gooey duck farmers. I know some tribal members. Let me rephrase that. I've known tribal members over the years, and seen some of the stuff that they do. They have an opportunity up there to make a lot more money than the average guy that lives in Bremerton. Okay, gooey duck farmers, divers, they make really good money. And by the way, they destroy the environment while they're at it. It is probably the most destructive harvesting of any type of life on this planet. I mean, it is that devastating. I am surprised that it is still legal, and maybe laws have changed. Now, mind you, this goes back 25 years to when I was there in the 90s. But what I saw, the difference, and as soon as I got into politics, I began to understand it more. In Port Orchard, for example, you have a much greater range of political values and ideals amongst elected individuals than you do in Paulsbo. In Paulsbo, it's 75-80% are firmly entrenched on the left. And most of the city council is the same way. My point is there's not a lot of dissension. So when the left wants to get something done, they're able to do it. In Port Orchard, when one side or the other wants to get something done, there's a lot more discourse. It's the same thing in Bremerton, right? So so when it comes down to, for me, is how easy is a city or town to manage, right? Port Orchard, Bremerton, not quite so easy. Paulsbo is just easier to govern in. When you have, it's like Bainbridge Island, right? It's easier to get things accomplished when most of the people think the same way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that Rick would disagree with me on that. I mean, I know that Rick's been on the short end of the stick a couple times. I mean, he was criticized simply because he came on our show as a guest. I mean, they had him pegged and labeled as an extreme right winger, and I still don't know why. I'm the only person here that's close to being a Republican, and I'm not. Right? So, well, I mean, I'm not a Republican. If you find me one person that can validate I'm a Republican, Kevin, and I'll mow your yard.
If people are saying I'm a Republican, you're certainly a Republican. Like I got Brandy Cruz accusing me of being a closet Republican.
Maybe you are, but
if she thinks I am, then you certainly are, because you're more conservative than I am.
Oh, that's certainly true. I'm just simply saying, listen, we all know it's like an unspoken rule. For those that are listening, you guys can tell Kevin how right or how wrong I am about this. But there's one big reason why this show gets pegged as alt-right or far-right and stuff like that. That's because the only person that's a conservative on the show comes in with such data and such facts, it's almost irrefutable. It's like everybody bows to me when I talk about stuff on this show because I'm just right all of the time. And I can't help that. It's deeply ingrained in me. I don't know what to tell you.
Hold on. All right. Sorry, I had to throw up. Hold on. Whatever.
With all due
whiteboard.
With all due seriousness, I'm sure that Tom. I know I've heard Tom say this before privately. Tom, explain to the listeners why people perceive Outlaw Radio as being a right-wing show. Go ahead.
Oh, we've had this talk before, though.
I know. Tell the listeners, Tom. Go ahead.
The chat you and I had about this was the fact that amongst those of us on the show, we like to have some discourse and exercise a little common sense.
And it always tends to lean to the right, doesn't it?
Well, that's because everything has gone so far left that you can only find common sense to the right side of the problem.
You're nailing it, Tom. That's a beautiful. I love you. You're nailing
conservative. Other than fiscally, I am not conservative.
I mean, it's cool, Tom. It's your story. I mean, I just want you to tell it as you feel compelled to.
By the way, Tegan admitted in chat that I'm a Democrat. Thank you for that.
No, Tegan just said she calls all of us Republicans.
Yeah, and then she said, "Well, wait, not Kevin. He's a Democrat." Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a Republican.
Mike said, "Conservative doesn't mean Republican. I'm very conservative. However, I like the middle and a more purple zone." Rick said, "I don't know about the other three cities, but we definitely have our share of non-unanimous votes."
Well, of course you do, Rick. Rick, you're always looking for an argument, for God's sakes.
And John says Paulsville has the best grocery stores, Town and Country and Red Apple.
Yeah, they got the most expensive grocery stores.
I don't know. The Red Apple is pretty cool, actually.
I will tell you that, and I love.
Cool. It's just expensive.
Oh,
I love. Yeah, it used to be Central Market. I love shopping there. When I'm up in the area, I almost always stop. I love to buy their pizzas. But I will say this: you can get the same pizza, but only pepperoni at Costco, right? And Costco's are $10 versus $21.99 at Central Market. So
they're a little spendy.
They're spendy.
There's no reason for me to shop at Town and Country.
Well, no, you don't ever go up there.
I go to Paulsville once a month, but there's no reason for me to shop at Town and Country.
How come?
Because it's expensive as a mother.
Yeah, but what if you're looking
expensive?
What if you're looking for something funky, right? I mean, so
they have an amazing selection of stuff.
They have a great selection of stuff. Like
tell me something you can get at Town and Country, you cannot get at Winco.
Grape leaves.
Yeah, banana leaves.
I'm gonna need grape leaves.
To make
live seafood. You can get live lobster there. You can get all. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't know if they still have them because when I was at the Marine Science Center, that place got built and. We actually got a whole bunch of fresh seafood tanks from them to use at the Marine Center in our exhibits. They were awesome, man. They were awesome neighbors. They were great stewards of the community up there. They are incredibly involved. And like I said, I will say that. I mean, I don't think there's a better grocery store on this peninsula. I also do not think there is one more expensive. Because they are. But why are they more expensive? They're more expensive because they live they are in an area that has a higher median income. And I'm sure if Rick is in chat, he can acknowledge that, or maybe he'll disagree. But I'm pretty sure, at least in the 90s when I was working and living up there, the standard of living in Paulsville was higher than the rest of the county. So,
well, Rick did acknowledge earlier when you were talking about Town and Country, he did acknowledge that when him and Ace Haynes want to go grab lunch together, Town and Country's at the top of the list. So,
Poor Rick.
they have a.
I'm so sorry, Rick.
They have a sushi
so
bar
sorry.
there. They do fresh barbecue. They got their pizza parlor. They just do a wonderful job there. But anyway, so enough about Town and Country.
Stop it. I stopped
Hey,
in there once, and I was in about because I have this granola I like. It's a low sugar, high protein granola called Love Crunch. It's amazing, best granola you'll ever have in your life.
I want to make sure you're saying that it's granola, okay?
Yeah,
and it's high protein. Hold on, it's high protein, and it's called what?
Love Crunch.
Love Crunch.
Yeah,
if that's what you want to call it, Kevin.
No, that's what it's called. No, but it's so good.
Paul. I mean,
so
no, it's cool, dude.
Shut your whore mouth.
I mean,
it's
gay
really
is
good.
fine. You can be gay. It's okay.
But it's stop it. It's really good. And what I do is I eat yogurt for breakfast in the morning. And I put a little bit of granola on it. Shut up.
A little bit of Love Crunch.
Listen, there's a reason why I'm down 160 pounds, you schmuck, and it's because I make smart, intelligent dietary choices. So shut your whore mouth.
I mean, as long as you're swallowing, that's what it's all about.
Anyway, the cost of the same granola was like 30% higher at Town and Country than it was at Target in Silverdale.
That
same granola.
I believe it
30%
sounds
higher.
that sounds accurate.
So you can't eat. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's a nice store. It's well stocked.
Yeah.
It's huge. You got plenty of stuff in there. But look, I don't want to pay 30% higher to get the same thing somewhere else.
No,
So,
I agree. But,
yeah.
but when they're the only place to get something unique because you decided to do something unique, culinarily speaking.
Yeah. Well, again, the chances of me eating grape leaves are pretty slim.
Dude, have you ever had dolmas?
No, I don't know even dolmas are.
Oh, dolmas are delicious.
Domo?
No,
Domo obrigado, Mr. Roboto?
No, it's a little Greek dish. It's almost like a spring roll.
I dated a Greek dish once. All right.
You dated a Greek dish?
She was a dish. Paul, I did give a reason that I thought there was a difference between like what Paulsbo's doing and Port Orchard and all that. And I really believe it's because of the high quality, deep relationship that Rick and Ace Haynes have forged. That really is the deciding factor on the
Rick,
North End.
I'm so sorry.
Why the North End is doing so well. Could you opine to that at all? Could you give your opinion?
Well,
right?
I can't. I apologize. I really don't have much to say about Ace Haynes. I mean, best part of him ran down his mama's thigh. I think that with all due sincerity, you know, I mean, Kevin, you've acknowledged to me. I mean, there are just certain men on this planet that, well, quite frankly, they should have become a loogie. I think he falls into that category. I don't know how else to put it. And shame on you for continually giving Rick a hard time. Rick reaches out to his constituents. Rick appreciates his constituents. Rick wants to get to know and develop a rapport with those constituents. And as such, Rick is simply doing his part as an elected official of Paulsbo. So you shouldn't be giving him a hard time for the near incestuous relationship he has developed, you know? Yeah.
Incestuous? Really, Paul?
You know what? My sense of humor has changed. It's all the time I've spent at the new job, you know?
That's right.
$50,000 sign-on bonus. You know that?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Tegan asked if my dietary decisions include corn dogs. Yes, they do.
It's only from Crazy Eric's.
Corn dogs at the fair are the best, man. At Whaling Days, they had the World of Corn Dogs booth. Did I tell you about that?
No.
They have the World of Corn Dogs booth. They have 10 different types of corn dogs. So the corn dog the corn on the outside is the same, but the kind of dog they use on the inside is different. So they have hot links, they have better cheddars, they have
much like our friends down at Harbor Hot Dogs.
Yeah, but these are corn dogs.
Right.
Yeah, but they use different types of dogs. Bratwurst, Polish sausage, all those. Yeah, it's good stuff. The fair is next week, by the way. Kitsap County Fair is next week, which will give me plenty of opportunity to develop corn dogs that I can inhale. So I'm very happy about that. Makes me joyful. Paul is going to be at the fair in an official capacity in his ice jacket. So for those of you in the Lumpia stand, you might want to hide when you see him come around. What, Tom? Kevin Nelson said corn dogs are awesome. That's great. Rick just said that Paul made the list. I'm not sure what list that is.
Don't know either.
Rick is now proposing an alliance with Tom about me because of the comments I make about Ace, but also because of the comments I make about Tom's aunt. Speaking of Tom's aunt, how you doing, baby? How you doing, baby, Nancy?
Did you guys hear about a couple of incidents that have occurred with ICE this week? I don't know if you guys have followed or not. So they had a situation, and I think this is important to acknowledge. They had a situation where they went to detain a man and a couple of people in a car. I do not know the circumstances around it, but I've seen the video. So the video that you see, they're stopped. You have several ICE agents who have surrounded the vehicle. A couple of them are masked, a couple are not. And the individuals in the car are nervous, scared, whatever. So they're not even rolling their window down. Okay. And the ICE folks are telling them, roll down your windows, step out of the vehicle, roll down your windows. And after about a dozen or so times of not rolling down the windows, not stepping out of the car or anything else, ICE agents broke the window. Okay. At that point, the driver of the vehicle put the vehicle into drive and basically plowed his way through the ICE agents. One of those ICE agents pulled out his service weapon and fired 3 rounds at the car. Now, it poses a couple of interesting questions, right? Because first and foremost, are those agents performing a legitimate duty of law enforcement? That's the first question. I think for the most part they are. I do not know specifically what the standard operating procedure is for ICE right now as far as stop and detain, right? Because in some places in this country, Terry stops are completely legal. Okay, so I would imagine they are for ICE agents as well. What do I mean by Terry stop? It's basically an opportunity for an officer of the law to stop you and ask to see ID. Okay, that's a Terry stop. Now, in some places like New York and other places, it is not legal for them to do that. So let's assume for a moment that the ICE agents were within their rights to stop anybody on the streets who they want to just make sure that they are legal, right? Now, why wouldn't that work in Washington State? Because in Washington State, anybody can go get a driver's license. And if you get a driver's license, you're going to appear legal, right? Because in this country, what we don't want to have happen, what we don't want to allow is law enforcement to basically walk up to somebody and say, "Let me see your papers," right? We don't want that to happen.
No,
I think we all probably agree
to
on
the
that.
Gestapo.
Right. I don't want that to happen either, but I do want ICE to round up illegals and remove them from the country. And the way the process has been working, and there's a really good video of a courthouse where hearings are being held for illegals that are showing up. Well, judges have redone. Before, they would just slap a continuance on it or whatever. Okay. Now folks are showing up for their immigration hearings and being extradited for removal. And so there were some good stories coming out of California this week about, upset people. This one lady in particular she's screaming. She's there with her lawyer and she's upset because her husband went in for his deportation hearing. And the judge basically said, "Yeah, you're here illegally. He's gone." Slapped the cuffs on him, took him into custody right there. And they were doing that with person after person after person. Now, I do understand that a lot of people want to make the case that's not due process. It is due process. Due process looks different for different things, right? If you are going to court for a civil infraction, your due process is going to look different than the due process for a man accused of killing 4 college students in Idaho. All right. If you're coming in for a traffic ticket, your due process is considerably different. Okay. When it comes to immigration issues, and I think this is a point that a lot of people are missing, okay, is that if you come into this country illegally and you're given a court date, it's because you're here illegally, right? So you're going to have your omnibus hearing. You're going to say, "I am guilty" or "I'm not guilty." If you're going to say I'm not guilty, the judge is going to say why, right? As your next hearing. The point is just that due process is occurring whether people think it is or it isn't. Now, again, it's different for different people, but nonetheless, if you're already ordered to remove yourself from the country and you're in the middle of your process and your hearings, you got to go. There are significant numbers of people, by the way, that are self-deporting. Are you guys aware of that? Have you been hearing the numbers on that? The numbers are pretty high. And why are those numbers high? Because if you self-deport, you can actually get a $1,000 refund from the U.S. government, and then you are eligible to return to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, that's not a bad thing. You're telling people, okay, go home to your country of origin, right? Go home to your country of origin, get your shit together. We'll pay you for the cost of money it costs you to get home, right? And then you'll be allowed to come back in the right way. And all those people got to do is go to a U.S. embassy in their home country, get the free packet of paperwork, fill it out, wait for an approval, and then come back. Yes, it can be a long, drawn-out process, not going to lie. But it's still doing things the right way. So the next thing that happened that was really newsworthy, you had a young lady of Latina descent down in California who made herself really famous over the last 2 months. Do you know what she was doing? She was doxing ICE agents.
Yeah.
Guess who ICE arrested this weekend?
Her.
Oh yeah, and you should see the video.
Where was she getting their info?
I don't know the answer to that, bud.
Huh.
I don't know the answer to it.
I had not heard about that.
Yeah. And it's interesting because
well, hold on, Paul, do me a favor. Hold that thought for a second. It's top of the hour. We got to put a little bit of a bumper break in there. So we're going to I'm not going to play commercials. It'll just be like a 30-second music break just so we have a spot to edit this out. And then we'll talk back and talk about this. Also around the corner, we're going to talk about, I was waiting for you to call in because did you hear about the letter that Ferguson got?
I don't know. Some things I've heard, but okay, yes. I have not read it, however.
I will share some information on that next. So before we do that, though, let's take our top of the hour bumper break. Give me 30 to 60 seconds. So everybody can grab something to drink or use the restroom or whatever they need to do. We'll come back for the final hour of the show. Also, I have an announcement about next week's show. There's a couple different things we're doing next week on next week's show. One of them Paul loves because he loses every year. It's the return to the NFL football picks next week. So,
I thought you were going to talk about the new co-host coming on here with us next Sunday.
Yeah. I said that we're not announcing it till next Sunday. I'm just teasing it tonight. So all I've said is that they're a familiar voice.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take a break. We'll come back in 30 to 60 seconds. It's Outlaw Radio. Well, that's a depressing song. Hold on. Let's fix that. Much better.
That was a little depressing.
Back after this. Don't slit your wrist. Stand by. Outlaw Radio. All right, I can't. Hold on.
What is that?
As I look into the mirror, I do finally see clearer that I'm never free. The one who falls so hopelessly. But hear the sounds of my success. Now, what you see is blinding you. What you see is blinding. What you feel is so. They don't believe what they just saw. Your eyes on me. All the times you walked away, I said.
All right, Outlaw Radio. Thanks for checking out the show. Kind of like
You want to
using
bring the
these
video back?
royalty free bumps. We're gonna have to segue to that. We're gonna bring Paul back on with us. There's Pollywog. What's up, buddy?
Not the temperature.
Oh, hold on,
Actually, it's a nice.
There you go. Try that again, Paul. Sorry, I didn't have you unmuted.
Oh, it's a nice night outside, man.
Is it? So you're out in BFE, right?
I am.
How long does it take you to get to? What's the closest city to you? Gig Harbor or Port Orchard?
Gig Harbor.
How long does it take you to get to Gig Harbor from where you're at if you're driving?
35 minutes.
Yeah, so you are in the sticks. So you probably don't have a lot of ambient noise pollution, right? Sorry, light pollution,
No.
right?
Nope, not at all, man. Like if I have a light out here with me, watch this. That's all you're seeing is the light from my screen.
Oh, hold on. Turn your light off again real quick. Yeah, you look a lot better. Thank you. Okay. So all right, I'm going to read this story really quick. This is off of the Como News website, which means, it must be true because Como said so. I'll read this to you verbatim so that you and Tom are all on the same page with the listeners.
You're going to read this verbatim?
Verbatim. Yeah, verbatim. Verbatim. U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi has issued a stern warning to Washington Governor Bob Ferguson urging compliance with federal immigration enforcement efforts. In a letter dated August 13th, Bondi informed Ferguson that Washington has been identified as a jurisdiction with sanctuary policies that hinder federal immigration enforcement. Quote, "You are hereby notified that your jurisdiction has been identified as one that engages in sanctuary policies and practices that thwart federal immigration enforcement to the detriment of the interests of the United States. This ends now," Bondi wrote. In the letter, Bondi claims that so-called sanctuary jurisdiction policies have undermined this necessary cooperation and obstructed federal immigration enforcement, giving aliens cover to perpetuate crimes in our communities and evade the immigration consequences that federal law requires. The letter also said that federal agencies will be able to evaluate their authority to issue grants, contracts, and federal funds to determine which immigration-related terms and conditions may be added in an effort to pressure jurisdictions to comply with federal immigration law. Bandy said that Ferguson has till August 19th to submit a response that, quote, confirms your commitment to complying with federal law and identifies the immediate initiatives you are taking to eliminate laws, policies, and practices that impede federal immigration enforcement. And then it goes on to say the letter represents an escalation of the ongoing conflict between the federal administration and states with sanctuary policies. So, in a response to Bondi that he posted on social media, Turd Ferguson, our governor, said, quote, "Washington state has no intention of changing our values in the face of threats from the Trump administration. The federal government's relentless targeting of law-abiding immigrants is wrong." End quote. He explicitly advocated for one of the laws that is classified as non-compliant, the Keep Washington Working Act. The act was passed in 2019 and significantly restricts law enforcement's ability to collaborate with federal immigration enforcement. Ferguson said that the, quote, Keep Washington Working Act is an important law that helps protect Washington families in the face of this assault. The Keep Washington Working Act requires our state and local law enforcement to focus on keeping Washingtonians safe rather than allowing limited resources to be used for federal immigration enforcement. Ferguson concluded the public announcements by stating he will issue a full response to Bondi on the 19th. Anyone have any thoughts? Oh, hold on. Your mic's not on, Tom. Now your mic's on. Go ahead.
I don't know where to start.
Okay. I'll give you a second. Paul, do you have a... sorry. Do you want a minute to collect your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I do need to think on that a bit.
Okay.
Do me a favor,
Paul?
Kevin. Would you please read the last paragraph one more time?
About that he's going to respond on the 19th.
Just the last like the last 5 or 6 sentences.
The Keep Washington Working Act is an important law that helps protect Washington families in the face of this assault. The Keep Washington Working Act requires our state and local law enforcement to focus on keeping Washingtonians safe rather than allowing limited resources to be used for federal immigration enforcement, Ferguson stated.
So it sounds like they're going to play a game with accounting, right? You can't touch this money. You can't do this, that, right? So he's going to take money, state money, that should be used and allocated by state resources to help federal authorities. So he's going to tell local cops, for example, we're not going to give you the funds, right, to help out federal law enforcement agencies. Is that kind of how you read it?
That's not how I read it.
Tell me how you read it.
I'm not saying he's right or not, but what I believe he's implying is, look, we have limited resources in our community. We're not going to waste those resources helping the federal government collect illegal immigrants. We're going to put those resources to use in other places. Now, where, I don't know. So I don't think he's talking about taking money away. I think he's saying, look, we only have a certain number of cops in the streets. We only have a certain number of prosecutors. We only have a certain number of public defenders. So rather than waste them on what Ferguson would call a stupid immigration policy, we're going to focus them in other ways in our communities that we believe is more beneficial to doing what we want to do rather than dealing with your nonsense, I think is what he's saying. Like, there's only enough money to go around, enough law enforcement to handle it, so we're not going to waste it on your immigration stuff. We're going to put it somewhere else. Again, I don't know where he's putting it, but
would you agree that he's trying to find a Weasley little way around so that he can appease his constituents but not give in to the Trump administration by taking a stand?
I think if Ferguson is smart, he will take a stand and not give in to the Trump administration.
Well, okay, so that's what I just said, right?
Yeah. So, but by smart, I mean he wants to cater to his base. Not that he's making the right decision, but if he's trying to cater to his base, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same sheet of music. Let me ask you this, Mr. Constitutional Scholar.
Yes.
Do state laws carry more weight than federal laws, or do federal laws, pardon the pun, trump state laws?
So that depends.
And it depends,
and it comes down to the 10th Amendment of the Constitution and whether or not,
which is
that anything that's not specifically outlined as being the authority of the federal government is left to the states to decide. And so where the gray area for this will come in is how much is outlined in the Constitution about immigration policies. Now, the Constitution is really clear that the federal government has a responsibility to protect the borders.
I was just going to say, there is some pretty clear-cut verbiage about protecting the borders and the responsibility of the United States.
Correct. What has not ever been adjudicated completely is what that means when it comes to immigration policies within the individual states, because protecting the border and dealing with immigration are two different questions.
Are they?
They are. Yeah, and we have an important issue called state sovereignty, right? I am not at all surprised. And I think that this is the issue, I think, as it will be like between California, Oregon, and Washington, Oregon being the, redheaded stepchild of the three. We know how those three states are going to try to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because, like, Ferguson will be like, the people of Washington, yada, yada, yada. Newsom will say, the people of California, these are not our values, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And what they really mean to say there is 51% of the people in the state of Washington feel like I do. 51% of the people in California feel the way I do, as would say Governor Newsom, right? The way that they try to present, our state's values are X, Y, and Z. No, they're not. Some of your constituents are, however, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is, in a nutshell, it's simply another level of gaslighting by agents of different political organizations, right? Republicans do it, Democrats do it. They all do it when it suits them, right? I put a video out today. I sent it to our page for you guys to use on the show tonight, but I'll just explain it. And it is a Democratic congressman talking about the troops on the streets of DC. And he points out, he does this, he says, we're not going to stand for these troops being on the streets of DC when other states and other cities have higher crime rates. And he brings up Memphis and oh my gosh, where the Michael Brown shooting happened.
St. Louis.
St. Louis, thank you. And he goes, those states have Republican governors and they have a higher crime rate. So why are the troops here? Now, the important thing to recognize, just like Governor Ferguson is doing, that Democratic elected member of Congress did the same thing. So he cherry-picked information, because what he didn't say was that the mayors of both of those cities are Democrats. And if you know anything about politics and how systems work, the mayors control the cities. They control law enforcement in the city. They control how law enforcement's going to go about and do their duty, what they're going to focus on, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the governors. So it was irrelevant that the governors of those two states were Republicans. But he threw it out, hoping that uneducated people that are part of his base would pick up on it and run with that, right? It's the same thing. It's the same stuff that Ferguson is doing with Washington State.
Can I hold on? Can I push back on you just a smidge, though? There's one other element that even further backs up your point, Paul, which is why DC is nothing like Memphis and nothing like St. Louis.
It's federal.
DC is federal.
Correct.
And St. Louis and Memphis are not federal. And so, like, I agree with everything that you said, but even if none of that were true, regardless of Democrat, Republican, governor, Senate, House, whatever, mayor,
State,
whatever,
city, governor, mayor, yeah.
DC is federal. It is a huge gray area, and there's going to have to be some legal interpretation, probably by the Supreme Court, over whether or not Trump has overstepped his bounds and all of that. But it comes down to its federal zone. It's not a state. It's not a city. It's essentially a federal protectorate. And as such, the feds run it. So again, I agree with everything you said, but even if none of that were true, it's a federal enclave.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, a lot of people still don't want to recognize that, right?
Look, when I went to DC in 2018. And I will tell you that if I was downtown, and by downtown I mean if I was down in the district, right, where the monuments are and all that kind of stuff, it feels extremely safe. I mean, extremely safe. Capitol Police are everywhere. It feels extremely safe. But when I got onto DC, I went to a Walmart because I had an Airbnb. I was going to be there for a week, so I was not going to eat out every night. I was going to buy some food, take it back to my Airbnb, cook my own dinner and stuff, save myself some money, right? That was a scary freaking place, dude.
Walmart?
That Walmart was a scary freaking place.
In DC?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I've never been to DC.
Yeah. It felt like I was in Detroit.
Oh.
It felt like I was in Detroit.
Oh.
And there were people dealing outside of it. There was at least one guy smoking something outside of it, like right on the corner, right outside of the Walmart. This was like a city Walmart, like you see the city Target in downtown Seattle, where it's like in the middle of town, the exact same thing. The store was a dirty disaster. Don't believe when you look at what they show you as DC that is what DC is. Because that area where all the federal buildings are and the Capitol and all that stuff, that place is clean. Get into DC proper, the actual city of DC, boy, that's some scary-ish. It's some scary-ish done. And this is back in 2018. I don't know what it's like now. But go ahead, Paul,
no, it's fine, man. I listen. it's the one thing that really bothers me about what's happening in DC is a lack of realization by a lot of people who are allowing their orange man bad syndrome to overtake their logic, right? If Judge Janine Pirro gave a little interview yesterday, and she really drove home one point in particular, that it just breaks your heart. And this kind of gives you an idea of how bad Washington, D.C. is, okay? So how many days into this year are we now? 100 and something, right? 200, what?
Probably close to 200-ish, give or take, yeah.
So I think we're about halfway, right? The year's about halfway. What month is this? 7?
It's August.
Eight,
It's
17?
We're over.
Yeah.
We're over half.
Okay. So you know, we're yeah, like you said, 200 and some odd days. Okay. So if you look at the murders that have occurred in Washington, D.C.
228, by the way. We're about, and there's 136 days left. So you're almost to 2/3 of the way through the year, honestly.
Okay, so 120 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
Stop it, both of you.
118 days till the Christmas music starts.
Go ahead, Paul.
Fuck right off. So
have a
here's
Christmas.
Hey, Tom.
It's the best
Tom.
time of the
Tom,
year.
make a fist, Tom, and hit that motherfucker right in his face.
I did. I was going to stab him with a
hit
pen.
him hit him so hard. Hit him into the holiday season, Tom. Do it or you lose points on your mind.
Jolly Christmas.
This got buttons back here. So.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you nearly grabbing your testicles and manning up there.
I wasn't going to hit him on camera. Come on now.
But here's the thing. Okay, tone it down now. This is a serious point, Kevin.
Okay, go ahead.
So we're 200 days into this year, and people are saying, but the crime is down in DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the crime is down. It's gone down since Trump was elected president. But nonetheless, it's still higher than all but 4 cities in this country.
Yep.
Ooh,
and of those, of the Memphis,
St.
Baltimore, St.
Chicago.
Louis, and no, actually, Chicago wasn't one of them. I forget. Detroit. Thank you.
Okay. That was a guess.
But here's the point. Of the murders that have occurred in Washington, D.C. since Donald Trump took office, 45 of them have been African-American teenage boys. Put that in perspective, man. That's one teenage boy every 3 days being gunned down.
I would say, were those the perpetrators or the victims?
No, they're victims. Victims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
45 teenage boys have been murdered in DC. I mean, it's mind-blowing, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, saying that, Trump should not get involved in DC because the crime rate is down is really the equivalent of me saying, last year I cheated on my wife 9 times. This year, I've only cheated on her 5 times.
Well, what a good guy you are.
So per capita, per average, I've actually cheated on her less this year, so she should not divorce me.
Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah, there you go, man. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's not quite as awful. And that's the left's way of doing things. The left can't even say we're doing good. All they're going to say is we're just being less awful. And that's their defense? That's insane, dude. But go ahead.
No, that was the point that I wanted to make. Just that I was glad she came on. I'm glad she made that point because, stopping short of putting a name to a victim, the point is that those types of statistics, 45 have been teenage boys, African American, and she made the point. She said all the people that are screaming about how these federal troops shouldn't be on the streets of DC are the same people who don't bother to say anything about the fact that predominantly the victims of crime in Washington DC are predominantly African Americans. And I mean, people want to scream at the top of their lungs, white privilege and racism and blah, 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 blah. And so when they go out to do what they have to do to protect people of color, They're just called something else. It speaks to the dishonesty in the arguments. The arguments don't have anything to do with the facts. The arguments have to do with one simple phrase: orange man bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, and so Paul, let's take this background to Washington State now. Like what? So I'm going to disagree with one thing you said earlier, because you said, well, really 51% of this state wants these policies. And I would say it's probably closer to 60. I mean, just as we look at the results of the gubernatorial elections, stuff like that, as a general rule, you're seeing Jay Inslee, Bob Ferguson get somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 63% of the vote. And so I would argue it's a higher number than 51%.
So,
I don't think it's as cut and dry as
I would have too, and I would have too until I listened to Brian Haywood talk yesterday. You can go to my page and watch his presentation, and in it he talks about the numbers in Washington State, because it's typically listed that 36% of Washington State are registered Republicans, but what they don't tell you in those numbers are that of the 40% of Washington State are independents, and of that 40% that are registered independents, almost 70% of them lean to the right. Like he pointed out, he goes, the problem is that the voting tallies, as evidenced in this last vote here a couple weeks ago, the numbers of conservatives and Republicans coming out to vote, that's the problem. They're not turning out to vote. They're there. They're just of the mindset that they've lost so much in this state, they feel like it's just a waste for them to vote. That mindset has to be changed. And until that mindset changes, then Republicans are just going to keep losing.
Yeah, I've heard that argument before, Paul. I just don't know if I buy it.
Well, it's a numbers thing, right? You don't have to buy it. But it's what the numbers show.
Well, again, I don't. But again, you and I have talked about this before on the show, that people can take numbers and make the numbers mean whatever they want the numbers to mean. And I don't mean that as a slight on Brian Haywood. I'm just saying that if it's okay, let me put it this way: if he's right, if that's true, then it's not the Democrats' fault that the state's screwed. It's the Republicans' fault.
In a manner of speaking, I agree.
Because that means they're not getting out the vote. Yeah, they're not getting the vote.
Nope, they're not fundraising. They're not getting the candidates.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, this, if that's true, then this race for governor should have been way closer, because Ferguson was not hand over fist favorite for anybody. You know, I didn't hear any Democrats that had an erection because they were so happy they got to vote for Bob Ferguson.
It's election, Kevin. It's election.
No, erection. I did not talk to any Democrats who had an erection over that election. I did not hear any Democrats who were like, "Oh my God, I cannot wait to vote for Bob Ferguson. He is going to be a great governor. I can't wait."
Tom, I think Kevin's turning Japanese. I think he's turning Japanese. I really think so.
Jingle bells, jingle.
Here he goes again.
I did vote in the election.
No, but you understand what I'm saying, Paul? Like in this last election, above any of the ones we've had in a long time in this state, there was no groundswell of support for Ferguson. There was no underlying movement that he was a perfect fit. And I didn't feel like they felt that way about. I didn't hear that about Inslee either, but even less about Ferguson. And yet he still secured 62% of the vote. So you're trying to flip the vote 13%. You know what I mean? If Haywood's right that the Republicans are not going out to vote, then we have our blame game wrong. Because that means we can't blame the Dems, because the Dems are doing what we've given them permission to do.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean we? We. I thought you weren't a Republican.
No, we
the people.
The people of the state.
Okay. So
the Democrats doing what the people of the state have given them permission to do, because Republicans are not voting, not giving candidates, and not donating.
I get your I get your point. I'm not disagreeing with you. There
Then I'm
is
right.
another there's another facet to this though. And we can't rule out what has happened in this state over the last 20 years on multiple occasions, right? Which is why people in this state are so adamant about the integrity of the voting process, okay? How many how many times can you think of off the top of your head where we've had incidents where in the course of a recount, votes are mysteriously found and they almost all tend to go one way? How many times does that happen? I mean, I can think of 3 off the top of my head. So, and it's become a regular occurrence in Washington State, and nobody seems to know how or why, right? Oh, Sharma Sawant has lost. Oh, wait, during the recount, we magically found a box with votes all for her in it. Well, we better count those too. Oh,
Yeah.
Christine Gregoire's up for recount. Oh, we found boxes of ballots, almost all of them mysteriously for her. We better count those too.
After they recounted like 2 or 3 times before that, yeah.
The third recount finally went her way by 133 votes, and they magically declared her the winner right then and there. So, I mean, we can't deny that has happened in this state. We can't deny the report that was done by Glenn, where he interviews the people, and we find out about the fact that they're out registering. Yeah, Glenn Moore, where they're out registering homeless people, and then somebody showing up and picking up the ballots. Like there's so much smoke. We just haven't found the flame yet. But it's there. It has to be.
And yet, doesn't it feel like the Republican? And again, I've said this before. I'm not trying to pick a fight, but then doesn't it feel like the Republicans are laying down and taking it? Like
some are,
and challenges. Where's the fighting? Where's the press junket? Where's the loud screaming? They don't do it.
You're right. I don't disagree with you. And in fact, one of the points that he made during his keynote speech yesterday was he came down on people just like you do, saying you've got to stop moving because things aren't going your way politically in this state. You've got to stay and you've got to have the fight. Too many good people are leaving because they're frustrated. And listen, my wife and I have talked about moving because the state is so bad. And it is bad. There's no denying it, that if you have anything remotely resembling traditional values, you're shit on in this state. If you believe in law and order, in self-defense, in owning a gun in this state, like there are lots of things in this state that we are at risk of if we have not already seen an erosion of our rights, both personal and constitutional. So now I don't want to go so far as to say we've lost our Second Amendment rights. We haven't. But this state, the Democratic state lawmakers in this state have shown a willingness to take away our Second Amendment rights while going out on their own and shooting guns and defending themselves with weapons they've even tried to outlaw.
Yeah.
Not that I'm pointing a finger directly at Tara Simmons, but
hi, Tara. Good luck. Look, here's the problem, and every time I say this, people get pissed off me, and it's fine.
Yeah, say it. I'm going to get pissed off at you. Go for it right now. Right now. Come on, bring it on.
Republicans in this state have become professional victims.
Man.
We lost the election on the third recount, but we're not going to challenge it.
Because you pay for that shit, dude. You can't. No, Kevin. No.
We're mad about, hold on, let me give you more examples. We're mad about all this COVID stuff, but we're not going to fight it. We're just going to complain about it. You know, if they cross the line too much further, we're going to rise up because we're armed and we'll make sure our rights are protected. And yet the left keeps taking it and they just keep redrawing the line like Obama did in Syria. Like the Republicans in this state, the Republican Party in this state specifically, has become the most well-trained, most self-disciplined group of victims I've heard in my life, because every time the Democrats do something, Republicans say, well, that's not fair, and the boxes show up and people get elected on the recount and we can't get treated in our gun, but then they don't do anything at all to fight against it.
Kevin.
And even when guys like Joshua Freed finally decided to do something, what happened? They were right, and the court ruled with them. When Freed took the state to court over the religious issues with COVID, he won. And then they didn't challenge anything else. Well, we got our churches back. We're good. Let's just sit back. And I'll tell you why they do it too, Paul. You want to know why they do it? Because they hope that by not overturning stuff, they're going to get more donations to the coffers. It is that idea that if we fix it, we do not have something to cry about to get people to donate to our campaigns. So they don't fix it. But at some point, the Republicans have to stand up and say, enough is a fucking enough.
What they need to do is fix it and then point back and say, hey, look, you gave us a few bucks here and we fixed it. So why don't you give us a few more bucks?
Robert has his panties in a bunch. Let me read what he said. So why is it always somebody else's responsibility? How many doors has Outlaw knocked? How many days phone banking have you done? Robert, that's not my job. Because I'm not the one every day coming out talking about how my party and my platform is being victimized on a daily basis because of the courts or because of surprise votes or because. Right? The Republicans are the ones that stand up every single day and talk about how Democrats do this and Democrats do that and Democrats break the rules and Democrats are immoral and It's the party that keeps saying that. And by the way, no one person in this state has the ability to do what an organized party can do. That's why you guys have strength in numbers. That's why you have power. Because you're a party with a network and a structure that you can go out and do that kind of thing.
Well, it's a party with leadership and a budget.
Well, it should be leadership and a budget. Right now, the state Republican Party is short on money in their budget. And some people, like our good friend in Vegas, Chris Gergen, has been active about how the party lacks leadership. So you can either say what they're doing is wrong and immoral and we have to fight it and then fight it, or you can say what they're doing is wrong and immoral and we have to fight it and then you don't do anything. But right now,
let me. Not a Republican, but I'm gonna defend, right?
Go ahead.
Because first of all, I don't think it is an honest argument for you to say Republicans say that they're going to stand up and they're going to fight back about this, and that, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Republicans almost always want to or try to have the moral high ground on these issues. Being pissed off about how state Democrats vote on certain things. There is a monumental difference between speaking your mind and putting out there how you feel about something and saying, we're going to fight back. It doesn't mean you're going to grab an AR-15 and go someplace and shoot up lawmakers. That's not what people are saying. It's not what they're saying, right? And I don't think it's really fair of you to suggest that's what they were implying. Because a lot of people... yeah, but you were intentionally vague. Okay, let's leave it at that. You were intentionally vague.
Let me be more specific then. Just so we're on the same page, let me be more specific.
Okay.
When something happens in this state that the Democrats are pissed off about, what do? They take to the streets, they shut down intersections, they protest, they break windows. I'm not advocating for any of this. I'm giving examples, okay? When something happens the left doesn't like, they take to the streets and they make a ruckus and they make a noise and they draw everybody's attention to it.
Yeah.
When something happens the Republicans don't like, what happens?
They'll go to Tara Simmons' house and protest on her front yard. And then get yelled at for it, right?
Not an equal number, but not in any way comparative numbers. You had 15 people, 20 people show up outside of Tara's house, and you had hundreds of protesters show up outside of my work building, burning dumpsters in the street because they were upset about Trump. And I'm not equivocating the two, but I'm saying that when Democrats are mad, they rally together and bring attention to their cause, and they disrupt. Republicans don't. And Republicans don't because they have a day job. I mean, honestly, they have a day job and the Democrats don't. No, I'm serious.
You're equating bad behavior, right, with vocalizations. Like the Republicans get pissed about something, so they spread the word. They openly talk about stuff, and they try to impact change through their vote.
Mm-hmm.
That is how conservatives see their responsibility to this republic and to this state, right? So if somebody like me who's fiscally conservative, socially very conservative, and also socially moderate on issues, right? If I lose an issue, right? I bitch about it, I whine about it, but it's short lived, and then I'm moving on. Like there's a moral authority in accepting a loss at a legislative level and then moving on. I appreciate what you are saying. I don't think that it's appropriate to lump Republicans into this group because they don't. You're like a. This is going to sound horrible towards you. I do not mean it to sound this way. No. You sound. You sound like a woman in this regard.
Oh, wow.
You are setting in your own mind. You are setting a standard that a Republican isn't aware of. Therefore, you're setting them up for failure. It's like when a woman. It's like when a woman. No, hey, shut up, lady. Sit down. It's like when. It's like when. It's. It's like. Just kidding, Lori. Love you. Just kidding, Lori. Love you. But here's I'm sorry. I don't speak feminine. Here's the thing. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Lori.
Wow.
But here's in all due seriousness, like I learned this. No joke. I can't make this up. When I owned the damn strip club, right? I don't joke when I say those women drove me to see a shrink. They did, and the shrink helped me understand that there are groups of people that love chaos, and because they love chaos, they will create their own. And what happens is, and this is a feminine thing to do, some men do it, but not nearly as many as women. And there are a lot of women that don't. It doesn't mean all women, but it's a feminine energy thing, right? Where they set something up in their mind where they're like, today I hope my husband brings me home flowers and he tells me how much he loves me, and then he's going to jump into bed and he's going to make sweet love to me. And instead, the husband comes home, throws this shit down on the table, and it's like, woman, get in bed right now, right? Well, it's just blown her fantasy, but it's a fantasy he didn't know she had. So she set him up for failure by having an expectation he didn't know existed. That's what you're doing to the Republican Party. You're not giving him the reach around and blowjob when that's what you really want to do.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me.
Wow,
let me say a couple
never
of
knew
things.
that about you.
Let me say a couple of things.
Right, Kevin?
This segment on marital discourse brought to you by St. Paul Esquire. Here's the problem, Paul. And again, I'm gonna get to Robert's other comment that he made in a second. But here's the problem. I think you're factually incorrect. Because
on an opinion? How can I be factually incorrect on an opinion? Okay.
Because how many rallies did we see at the Jackson Federal Building when Barack Obama was president and Republicans did not agree with his policies? Fast and Furious. Did they protest out in front of the Jackson Federal Building when Hillary Clinton and the Benghazi thing happened? Have they gone to the streets? Not violently. I'm not advocating for violence, but did they protest? Did they take to the streets? Did they disrupt traffic? Did they do anything to draw attention to their plight? They didn't. And yet the Democrats do that every effing time. And I think there's something valid behind peaceful protest. I think there's something important in a peaceful protest that draws the community into the discussion and lets them hear about it. The only people that are controlling that narrative are the Democrats. Why do Republicans not do that? Why are there not peaceful protests? When we talked about Chaz and Chop, back when that whole thing happened, what was the one thing we said would alleviate that in a heartbeat? A whole bunch of legal gun carrying conservatives ride into downtown Seattle on their motorbikes. That would clear that crap up in a heartbeat. But they don't do it. Robert said, it's not my fault either, Kevin. I'm simply a volunteer that puts in time and money rather than just bitching about it. I'm not a party. I am me. And Robert, none of this was an attack on you. It is an attack on the party, and an attack on not even an attack, but an acknowledgement, a critique. Yes, your mic off. It's a critique and acknowledgement of the fact that now you're on, that the Republican Party does not mobilize in this state its people the same way the left does. And if they were smart, they would take some notes and then mobilize in peaceful protests to get the word out. but they don't. And I think it's a challenge that the party should be suing the Democrats left and right every time something happens, like the Sharma Sawan thing, or during the COVID thing, or with the Dino Rossi and what was her name?
Gregoire.
Mein Führer.
Gregor.
Yeah, Mein Führer. You know what I mean? Like there should be legal challenges because the Democrats legal challenge the crap out of everything.
The problem with that right now is there's, from everything I've seen, there is no real leadership for the Washington State GOP.
Correct. And Chris Gergen would agree with you.
Yeah,
And no money.
And there is no money to launch a lawsuit, and lawsuits take money.
But there was money
There-
5, 6, 7 years ago.
That's after the fact.
The county Republican Party has squandered its ability to network and fundraise.
Sure. I mean, they have to fix it.
opportunity. Yeah.
They have to fix it.
Well, now they can't fix it now. Like, I hate to break it to you, but if you're part of the state Republican Party, and I don't mean Republican candidates, because they can fundraise on their own, they can hit individual donors on their own, they can network on their own, they can pull in out of state money, okay? But if you're a member of the state Republican Party, you might as well pull the plug and announce its DOA. Because the state Republican Party is in that toilet bowl cycle when you flush.
Well,
and you're just spinning around the drain waiting to get sucked down. They don't have enough
Sitting
money.
on the toilet.
Yep.
Sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the
Sitting on the
toilet.
toilet. They don't have the money to network. They don't have the money to interconnect. They don't have the money to push good candidates. And all that's going to do is replicate the process. Now that you don't have any candidates, how are you going to get people to want to donate?
Well, then they can't win
Ever.
because you can't you as a group, as an entity of more than one, you need leadership.
Yeah.
But if you don't have leadership, then you can't coalesce behind anyone. And if you can't coalesce behind anyone, can't accomplish anything, and like get a bank account.
And why would you have any respect for the Republican Party, by the way?
Well,
I look at them backing Michelle Caldier, and this is not a knock on Caldier, but I look at the state Republican Party and the county Republican Party backing Caldier in this race, and I have to question where their integrity is again. This is the same woman that you accused of tripping an elderly woman. This is the same woman that the county, that the 26 LD actively pushed somebody against because you said she didn't vote your way and she didn't have your agenda and she didn't vote along your ethics. But magically 2 years later, she's the messiah for the Republican Party in the 26 to get the Senate seat back.
That
like, again, I'm not knocking Caldier. I'm using this the county's decision, which if you there's no way you can convince me that the county did not have the state's blessing to do what they did. The state party's blessing to do what they did. You'll never convince me of that. I got nothing to prove it, but I can't believe they'd go against the state GOP. And yet 4 years ago, Michelle Caldier was so toxic to the legislative district that they tried to push somebody against her and wanted her out. And now, because she's the only name in town that can get a vote, they're gonna sacrifice themselves on the altar of Michelle Caldier to hopefully get her into the Senate seat, because God knows they've got no other candidates that has a shot.
The way you said that, sacrifice themselves on the altar of Michelle Caldier, that is crazy talk, man. Coming from a guy who has had nothing good to say about Michelle Caldier in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
I don't have anything good to say about it. I'm not a Republican,
right?
You know what I mean? And where's the integrity? They didn't have any.
Well,
they still don't have any. They were so split over the whole Semi Bird, Dave Reichert nonsense. They couldn't even get on the same page for the gubernatorial race. They should have kicked Bob's ass in that election. The Republicans should have owned that election, and they were so busy infighting with each other and desecrating each other and going after each other. You had Republicans creating hate websites against Semi Bird, another Republican. You did the Democrats' job for them. You guys should have owned that election. Bob Ferguson was a flawed, awful candidate. You should have mopped his ass up. And instead, you guys spend so much time infighting with each other that Bob Ferguson got to sit on the couch, touching himself in private places, watching the news because
I got friends in low
places. Because he didn't have to do any of the work. You did all of your opposition research for you. You had Republicans going after Byrd, so if Byrd won, all the hard work was done because you've already leveled out all the threats. And you had Republicans going after Reichert. Oh, he's too purple. He's not red enough. Well, guess what? You could have had purple or blue. You gave us blue. You could have had purple and Reichert, which wouldn't have been ideal for some of the Republicans. I get that. But instead, your infighting gave us blue. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And Tegan says that wasn't the party that was the delegates. Of course it was the party. It was the party that endorsed Semi Byrd at the state Republican council, at the state Republican nomination party in Eastern Washington.
Yeah, but it was Semi Byrd's campaign that paid for the delegate.
Right.
I get it, but that tells me you don't have leadership then.
No, I
That
know.
well,
I
that
agree.
that's where the problem is. The organization
There
is
no organization. There's no leadership.
there's
and
an
if
organization
there
and
was
direction.
Organization, leadership, direction, structure, then the money would come.
Mhm.
The money is
Yeah.
there,
Well,
It
but
could
the
be.
money
I don't know.
won't come into the GOP until they get their.
the state's grand idea was to leave in place a way that Semi Byrd got the nomination, knowing full well he would not win the primary and knowing full well he could not defeat Ferguson.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me dating a 7. Okay.
Here we go.
That's like me dating a 7, but holding out for a 10.
This dating moment brought to you by Kevin.
That's
Chambers.
like me dating a 7,
I'm holding out for a hero.
which is possible, but me ending the relationship with a perfectly valid 7 because I want to hold out for a 10. Dave Reichert was a 7. And that 7 could have given us 4 years of less taxes, better protected parental rights.
less
But no,
potholes.
but no, we don't want the 7. We want a 10, even though a 10 is unobtainable. Have you seen me? I'm not getting a 10. Okay. But
Unobtainium.
I'm gonna hold out for a 10 because God damn it, I want a 10. Well, the 10's not coming, folks. You should have taken the 7. And the state was holding out for a 10. Semi Byrd was their 10. Uber, conservative, completely red, whatever. He had no shot in this state.
No.
I don't understand
Well, I mean, there
any
were
decisions anywhere.
there were flaws in him as a candidate too that came out later.
No, agreed. I'm
Right.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they were so married to the idea that it had to be a red candidate. It
Right.
could not be purple. It has to be
right.
red. Has to be red.
Well, not now. Now, I mean, there needs to be a lot more compromise between now and going back any road we've already traveled.
Oh, I disagree. There needs to be less compromise. What got them into this was compromise. They didn't want to take a stand.
Yeah.
No, but the only way you're going to go back is by compromising, right? You're not going to get what you want. I mean, you just talked about that.
No, the party needs to say this is who has a real shot at winning.
Right. And it's
Purple
going to
or
be
not.
someone who's going to be purple.
Yeah, purple or
Compromise.
not.
Compromise.
Purple or not. Well, no, the party needs to not compromise. The Republican voting electorate needs to be able to compromise. But
Right.
the party needs to say, this is the one dude that can win.
Yep.
And he's purple.
Yep.
But we're going to throw the whole power of the party behind him, the whole
Right.
state party, and our whole $1.97 that's still in our bank account.
Right.
And we're going to back them completely. If the state party had come out and said, look, we like Semi. We think he's an outstanding dude. We hope he has a place in the next administration, but there's no way he's going to beat Ferguson.
Mm-mm.
And Reichert is the only dude that can. The best chance this state has had in a decade.
Semi could have been a great lieutenant governor.
or
Exactly.
on the
Yeah, you're
administration or
right.
something. Yeah. But we know that Ferguson is going to win if we don't put the right person up against him. And Reichert is the best chance we've had in the last 10 years to win the governor's office. And we're not going to fuck this up.
They did.
So we're going to back him no matter what. Get on
Well,
board
and
out of the way.
let me throw something else at you about this, man. When you
I'm
talk,
ranting now, I'm sorry.
when you talk about Semi Bird, right? As
Mhm.
I find it so disingenuous from certain Republicans when, and none in particular. So don't get me wrong about this. I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, but there were a lot of Republicans. Semi Bird lied about this. He did this. He did that. Right, and they raised those issues, and that's all good. I'm glad that they did those things. But folks, we did all actively support and put Donald Trump in the White House. Mr. fucked around on every single wife, fucked around on his wife while she was pregnant with his kid. I mean, and look, there's a lot more possibly involved with Epstein. There are plenty of things Donald Trump did, none of which lowered to the level of Semi Bird. Like the stuff Semi did was not even close to the shit Donald Trump has done. And so here you have Republicans saying vote Trump, and at the same time going, we can't support Semi Bird because he's a piece of garbage. Like, it blows the level of hypocrisy is just like, and this is why when you say the Republicans screwed that up, I'm agreeing with you, and that's the evidence of it. There's 50 ways that it could have been dealt with better and would have given everybody a better shot. Would have given Reichert a better shot because Reichert was the one that had a shot. Semi didn't, but they could have made those deals, man. They could have. God, and it's painful that they didn't.
Well, that's what Tegan says. So Tegan says the state party is made up of 3 people from each county. That's it. The state convention had hundreds of delegates that had never even been a PCO or gone to a meeting before, and then they all showed up for the sole purpose of voting for Bird. That is 100% true, Tegan. Thank you. But here's the difference: on the left, they knew who they were supporting. There was never a serious Democrat challenger to Ferguson. They decided early on. They got in line. They fell in line because they knew what they were doing. And I've said this on this show 1,000 times. They don't go after each other in the press. Whatever issues they've got, they handle behind the scenes and they work it out amongst themselves. But in public and when it comes to candidates,
unless their name is Tara Simmons.
Well, yeah, we can get to Tara. But generally, they don't attack each other in the press. They handle it backside. They get on the same page and they back a candidate. Ferguson never had anybody challenge him that was worth a crap.
No,
nobody.
Correct.
They knew in the beginning this was our horse, and they rode that horse. Meanwhile, the Republicans not only couldn't decide on a candidate, they actively fought about it openly and publicly. They went after each other in the press, and they didn't print retractions.
True.
And there's the difference. Like, I wish the Republican Party would take some notes from the Democrats. This is how you decide a candidate. From a party,
this is how we do it.
This is how you back somebody. This is how you make sure that they're your person. You get on the same freaking page. And until Republicans learn that, which they didn't with Lauren Culp, and they didn't with Semi Bird and Reichert, until they understand that, until they understand that they need to coalesce early and often and put up a resilient a front,
unified.
Thank you.
Yes, unified front.
Until that happens, they're never going to win the governor's office. And every single time we come back to this, Bob Ferguson is bad, Democrats are bad, supermajority is bad, blah 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 blah. It all comes down to the fact that Republicans either, if we go off of what you heard, Paul, over the weekend, that there's just not enough Republicans coming out to vote. They just don't vote. They don't donate. They don't back candidates. Well, that's bad.
Well, and I would be interested to know if Robert Parker's still in the chat, if he agreed with that assessment by Brian Haywood or not. By the way, I apologize for the hiccups. I don't know where they came from, but
no, you are.
Because again, this was and Brian, he backed it up with data, but again, like you said, Kevin, data can be manipulated. So,
and again, I'm not nothing against Byron Haywood. I mean, he's far better connected than I am. Has a lot more research and stuff than I do.
Can I point out that dude spent $8 million of his own money on getting those initiatives up and going last year. Do you know what the opposition spent? 50 million.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he was pointing out some stuff that's going on that I had no clue about. Like, public money from this state is being funneled from our government to NGOs specifically to fight for Democrat issues and against conservative issues.
Yep.
So our tax dollars are being given to NGOs in Washington state to fight on behalf of the Democrats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but something inherently bad is what I see when I hear that kind of information, right? Like, that should not be happening.
How do we fix it?
I don't have an answer for you yet, but I intend to do a lot more research on it to try to figure some of that stuff out. It's one of the things, if we're lucky enough to be able to, I know Lori's been reaching out to Glenn Morgan. It's one of those things that I'd like to talk to him about if we're able to get him on.
Robert's in the chat, by the way, that he agrees with Brian, and
he does. Okay.
Brian as well, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad they do, because that adds. Like I said, I had not met Brian before. I have followed him closely. I found him to be incredibly enlightening, and I really took a lot of what he said at face value. I felt he was incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah. Well, I hope we can get him on the show at some point. I think it'd be great to talk to him. I'm okay. It's 10 o'clock. I'm
Well, Dennis isn't here. Just saying. We can go another hour or two if you want.
I'm totally down with that. Let's go an extra 3 hours. I don't give a crap. I do have to work tomorrow. It's not my Monday off.
I have a life to live.
Are you coming to my house tomorrow, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that after.
Because Kevin likes crunchy granola.
You know what? Shut up, Paul. Just because I have a refined palate and you live in the middle of nowhere does not.
Hey, listen. Okay, you're right. I apologize, Kevin. Hold on. No, you're right, Kevin. I apologize, Tom. Kevin has a refined palate. Please eat pineapple and bananas before coming over.
Oh my God.
Robert said, absolutely correct, Paul. Robert's agreeing with you, Paul. Dems are sending money to NGOs that return as political funding candidates and issues.
Yeah, that's a big, that's infuriating, man. And and you know, I should not have been at all surprised, but I hadn't heard anybody really focus on that. But I don't want to pretend that I'm as into the stuff as I used to be even a year or two ago. I'm not. I've been absent without leave, for the last 6 months because of working on this new business. And so I am freely admit that I'm not where I need to be knowledge wise, but it is something I'm going to focus on trying to learn some more about, because I think we need to focus on that. It is not appropriate to be using taxpayer money to fight on behalf of or against the controlling and ruling party.
Well, taxpayer money shouldn't be going to any party.
That's correct.
Okay, but here's the problem, Paul.
Oh, you just said but.
Here's the problem, Paul.
But everything after the but is bullshit. Okay,
No,
go ahead.
it's not. Hold on. Let me tell you why it's not bullshit. Just hear me out.
Oh, no, it's cool, granola boy.
Here's the problem. God, fuck off. Here's the problem.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Part of the reason, and this will make sense in a second.
Okay.
Part of the reason why we lost in Vietnam is because we were trying to fight with a level of integrity that our enemy did not share. Okay.
True.
The Republicans are trying to win this war with a level of integrity that the Democrats do not have.
Pen, pineapple, apple, pen.
And when you shut up, Paul. And when you allow the other side, when you allow the other side to play dirtier than you will lose every single time.
It's a fair point, Kevin. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's a fair point.
Republicans are trying to have integrity. I appreciate that. I respect that. But if you're going to beat the Democrats, especially in this state with how much you've already ceded to them, you're going to have to get down and dirty like the Democrats. You're just going to have to. And then when you get in there, then you can fix some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Naked mud wrestling. Yeah, down and dirty.
Yeah. That's fine. This week's bout, Tara Simmons against Michelle Caldier. I think you're going to have to get down and dirty. You're going to have to play the same games the Democrats play. And then once you get into office, you can start to undo some of the stuff. You can pass legislation to make it so you can't do that again. You take the short-term loss for the long-term win. Sorry. Tegan said, Paul, the biggest finders against the
that had to be funders.
Yeah, the biggest funders. Tegan, you need to learn how to. They have this thing called spell check online.
Oh my God.
The biggest funders against the initiative was funds from union dues.
That is correct. That's one of the things Brian pointed that out. Yeah,
that's disingenuous, though, isn't it?
No.
I mean-
Washington State Education Association,
Right.
the SEIU, which is the home health aid or whatever. Home
Sure.
Health care worker.
That's a big union in this state.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
it
union
is.
was taking union dues from its members and using it to push an agenda that they believed in as the union. Like that's kind of what the unions are supposed to do, right? The unions advocate for what they think is in the best interest of their members, and they do that by using money that people pay in their union dues because that's why they pay for the union dues. So they're
Just like the Washington Democrat Party sends via the legislature, they'll send different grants or whatnot to the
Mhm.
different unions. The unions turn around and send that to the candidates in the term of
okay.
donations
All right,
to
I see
their
what you're saying.
campaign.
Oh. Well,
It's recycling at its finest of money.
well, of course they're recycling the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in protest, I'm no longer going to separate my trash. Everything's going to the same freaking can, man. Same freaking can.
Okay.
Period. I'm going to put my foot down. They'll feel that.
Sure they will.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hear him
But he
roar.
put his foot down.
Paul, let me ask you a question.
Racing for him.
As a single man, if there's a single man out there, should he date a Democrat, knowing that she's more likely to put out, or should he date a Republican because they have a higher moral calling? Like, what is best,
first?
Paul?
First of all, I think every stripper that worked for me was a Democrat. But having said that, the coolest one was the preacher's daughter. Take that as you may.
There was a preacher's daughter that was a stripper?
Yes, there was.
Wow.
And she was 19 and still a senior in high school. Imagine the look when her dad walked in the door. Yeah. Story for another day.
Where her dad walked in the door while she was dancing?
Yep.
The preacher walked into the strip club?
That
Was
sounds
it
like
to
the
save
start.
people or spend money?
That sounds like the start of a joke.
Right?
Nope, not the start of a joke.
Robert said, I know many union member teachers that detest being forced to pay dues that end up as support to elect candidates they don't support and issues they morally disagree with. I agree with that, Robert. I don't think any place should be a union shop. Like, I think if you want to join the union, you join the union. I think if you don't want to join the union, you don't have to join the union. I totally disagree with the mandate that people have to join the union if they're going to work somewhere. I think
that's a big problem. And didn't we pass a law that said that you could opt out of the union or posting union dues or something like that if they were something? There was something about that. I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure the Democrats overruled it. I'm sure the Democrats went back and changed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can't be trusted to cross the fucking street.
Wow.
They can't be. They can't even cross the road without trying.
Paul, this is
God!
Evan.
I swear to
coming
God,
out
man,
with political
I just can't. I cannot. I can't. We need a third party, not the
Kevin's
Libertarian
looking for
Party.
some more granola.
Don't get an erection, Tom. Not the Libertarian Party. Tom's
Wow.
boing.
Kevin, what did you have today?
I can't believe that he just said we
I
need
know,
a third party.
I know.
When he is railed
Adamant.
against the idea of a third party.
Hold on.
For
Since
never-
Moby Dick was a minnow.
I've never railed against the idea of a third party. I've railed against the effectiveness that a third party could provide.
Now you're calling.
But
for
you
one.
just found the absolute perfect reason why a third party
needs to happen.
No, I've always agreed that in Tom's land of unicorns and rainbows and tooth fairies and women from Bremerton that are not
Tom's
Bremelos.
melting.
In those scenarios, Tom's always been right. Like ideally, having a third party would be great. Ideally, we
That's
could
the
trust
most
people to do what they're supposed to do.
accurate thing
Ideally,
you've
but
said all night.
but it's not. But
Tom's
it's not,
always been right.
no.
End of sentence.
In theory, but in
Tom's right.
execution,
Thank you for tuning in. Good night. Good day.
But in,
Good
but in
tomorrow. Yeah, yeah.
execution, Tom is wrong because it'll never work.
No, it would work, but
It
it
would.
will never happen. There's a difference.
Oh, can't you give Tom his freaking dues for once,
It would
Kevin?
absolutely work. It would absolutely work better than any of the bullshit we're
And-
dealing with
yeah.
now.
And the whole reason the Dems and the GOP don't want it to work is that you could have a president elected at 33% of the vote. And
Yeah.
that scares the poop out of those two
But,
parties.
but we already
It
have that.
scares the hell out of me too, man. I don't want
Yeah,
a president in there with only 1/3 of the country supporting him.
Right.
But
That's
we already
crazy.
have that. We already have that. That
No,
exists
we
now.
don't. No,
Yeah,
we don't. Are you
Right
trying
now-
to tell? Do you think
right
that only
now,
1/3 of the
one-
country supports Trump? Is that what you're
1/3
saying?
of the- 1/3 of the country is blue. 1/3 of the country is red. The rest of the country just
Are
put
golden.
up with no, unfortunately.
That's right. That's right.
Um,
They're not. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. The rest of the country votes in what they think is the lesser of two evils.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? 1/3 of this country determines what's going to happen, whether you like it or not right now. 1/3. Everyone else compromises or has a tantrum.
I'm on the tantrum side. Thank you.
Right now you are.
Yeah. Robert said technically you can refuse to pay the unions hostage fees, but you'll also become a target for replacement. They're similar to the mafia.
Yep.
And Rick said union membership is not mandatory in Washington anymore. At least it isn't for teachers. And he would know because
Yeah, I knew there was some. Yeah, I knew there was something like that. But I think Robert's still point is like real serious. You know, in that you become a
Yeah.
target. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
All
it's
right,
true. It's true.
Well, listen, a couple things have happened tonight that I'm not very excited about. One, people are agreeing with Tom, which makes me really nervous.
Kevin's
Um,
admitted his infatuation with yogurt and granola.
Listen, yogurt is good and it's good for you. It's a good.
I believe
breakfast
you.
food. It's healthy. It contains
Listen,
a lot
Kevin.
of
Yeah,
positive
man. I mean,
bacteria for your stomach,
dude. Of course, man.
tasty.
You call it however you need to. It's okay.
What do you have for
We
breakfast?
don't
Paul?
we don't ask. We don't tell.
Besides making coffee with your tears, what do you have for breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast.
What?
It's the most
I don't
important
eat
meal to
breakfast.
eat,
Yeah.
Nazi.
Whoever.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
eat breakfast.
What?
I would
You
eat
guys should-
breakfast.
No,
you guys should totally eat breakfast.
I drink.
I-
I drink my coffee. I take my vitamins and stuff. Like
You say your
I'll
prayers,
maybe
brother?
I'll snack on something because some of my vitamins will give me an upset stomach. But frankly, I don't eat breakfast because I usually don't have time. I got a whole farm to take care of and kids to get out the door and all the rest of that stuff. So
You
yeah,
missed
I
my
don't.
comment. You said you eat your vitamins. I said, do you say your prayers too, brother? And rip your
Why
shirt
you?
off.
Why you? Hey, why you? Like why you gotta say shit like that, man? When the man passed away, why you gotta do that, dude? Huh?
Oh yeah, let's act like he never existed. That'll be honoring to his memory. What up, Paul? Well, shut up, Paul. Yeah, why would you talk about him? Why wouldn't you talk about him? He left an indelible mark on society. Just the greatest wrestler of all time, even though I wasn't a big fan of the guy.
You
Are
had
you
the big
talking about-
bright yellow Hulkamania shirt, dude.
What?
You had the big bright yellow
I did
Hulkamania
not.
shirt.
I never had a Hulkamania shirt. I was Team Piper, not Team Hulk. Shut up, you liar. Tegan says she has 3 eggs, coffee, vitamins, and that's it. Yeah. Beeler said she doesn't eat breakfast either. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Exactly.
Eat breakfast, man. Have some bacon.
I just drink coffee.
I love
Anywhere
my-
between
Egg.
1 and 1.5 pops.
my
and
favorite-
Then I'm off. And
My
running.
favorite breakfast in the morning: 2 pieces of bacon, maybe 3, some yogurt with some granola, some good stuff, man. Some hot cocoa. That's a good breakfast right there.
See, breakfast is something I enjoy when I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the best breakfast on vacation?
What's that?
So when I get my big windfall of money that's coming my way, God knows when that will be. Donald Trump got rid of all the Department of the Interior people. But when I go on my when I get my big windfall of money, I'm taking the entire crew to Vegas.
Cool.
And we're gonna have breakfast every morning at my favorite place to have breakfast.
What's that?
Froyo.
At the Y.
Froyo.
Froyo for breakfast is great, man.
No.
Throw some fruit in that sucker. Yeah. That's
Okay.
Kevin likes to eat every morning at the Y. He brings out the granola.
Froyo's good stuff.
No.
I mean, God knows what he uses those bananas for.
Corey said only coffee and vitamins for my breakfast. Casey said no breakfast, just coffee. Tegan said bacon is so yummy. Bacon is the perfect food, by the way, just so we're clear.
Pretty close.
Bacon. It's made out of clay.
Cook in the oven.
Bacon, brisket.
So Beeler said way too much sugar. Beeler, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm on a very low sugar diet. So my hot cocoa is sugar-free hot cocoa. The yogurt that I have is low sugar yogurt. It's the Dan and Fit stuff, which is really good. And the granola I have is low sugar granola. It's great. It's a great. You come over for breakfast, Beeler. I'll make you a K-Dog low sugar breakfast. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Robert said 4 eggs, half pound of bacon, fried taters, and toast. Robert, how do you not weigh 500 pounds? And Peter said Froyo so much sugar. No, if you go to Blueberry in Silverdale, they have no sugar Froyo. They have a sugar-free cheesecake Froyo.
Still don't like it.
Oh, it's so good. And
frozen yogurt's awesome, man.
Fruit, put some fresh fruit in there. Get a little shredded coconut. Oh yeah, that's good stuff, man. Right there. Rick said everything from coffee only to giant omelet depends on the day. Robert said I don't work in a cubicle. F off, Robert. How dare you? It's not supportive. Why are you so mean like that? Alicia said Froyo isn't good without gummy bears. I'm talking about that in a second. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I was just going to add to the breakfast conversation. I mean, if you're going to go on vacation and have breakfast, have Eggs Benny.
Oh, Eggs Benny is great.
It's
man.
the best breakfast.
Eggs Benny is good. Have you had the country Eggs Benny?
Oh yeah,
where they do instead of ham, they do sausage. Instead of hollandaise sauce, they do gravy.
Country hollandaise is necessary.
I'm just saying, but that's what they do with the country.
I haven't done that, but I've done Eggs Benny, the traditional way. I've done it with salmon. I've done it with crab. I've had it with bacon. I've had it with sausage.
Alicia agrees with you.
But you got to have hollandaise sauce.
Shannon says omelet. Then Shannon says breakfast burrito. Shannon, make up your mind. You know what I'm going to make this week?
What's that?
Money.
Those of you, I make money every day. Alicia said that's not Eggs Benny, Kev. It's not Eggs Benny, but they call it a country Eggs Benny or country Benedict or something. At the what is it? The Oak or the Big Oak or the whatever Oak Table or whatever in Silverdale. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't been
Their
there.
food is great, but boy, that place is small.
I haven't been.
Anyway, for those of you that listen to the show for a while, my favorite snack is chocolate covered gummy bears. I absolutely love.
You got to be careful with those, man.
You do because you eat the diet ones.
Yeah, you like
and those things. Those will fucking tear you up, man.
I just picked up a 3-pound bag of sugar-free gummy bears. And I have a whole bunch of sugar-free chocolate at the house.
You're a glutton for punishment.
No, because I don't eat a whole bunch of them at a time. I have like 4 or 5. I'll just eat a couple. I'll keep them in the freezer. They're great in the freaking freezer, man.
That sounds like colonoscopy prep to me.
Hey,
Kevin,
that's why I don't need to have a. That's why I don't need to have a.
Let me
have what?
Kevin, let me make a suggestion to you, Kevin.
Yes,
you want a real fucking treat? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can my kids and I years ago when they were homeschooling during COVID, we did this. Go online, go onto eBay or whatever, wherever you need to go. Go look up, go buy real cocoa. Like the actual pod.
Yeah,
take the beans out, make your own chocolate out of the cocoa beans and do it that way. You'll never have had anything better.
Isn't it really bitter though because you're not adding sugar to it?
You said you want it sugar free.
Well, yeah, but
no chemicals.
I'm sorry.
No chemicals.
Chemicals in there. I'm sorry.
I know that make it with no chemicals, man. I'm telling you, it's good. It's good.
What's the stuff that causes cancer in laboratory rats?
Aspartame.
Breathing.
What is it?
Yeah,
aspartame.
Oh, yeah, give me aspartame. I will eat spoonfuls of aspartame.
It was.
Oh my God.
Because guess what's going to happen? I might die 5 years early, right? What 5 years is it? It's not the middle 5 years where my life is great. It's the last 5 years where I'm having my Christian son-in-law wipe my butt. No, that's when I'm going to go. That's when I'm out of here. So yeah, give me aspartame. Give me spoonfuls of aspartame. Now, actually, I try to do like sucralose. It's not bad. Sucralose isn't bad. Yeah.
See, I agree with Alicia in the chat. She'd rather have meat for a treat. Man, give me some burnt ends. Oh, I love burnt
bacon.
Oh, burnt ends. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, or I do a pretty damn good chicken wing on the smoker. Oh, smoke some chicken wings for 6-7 hours. Oh my God, they're so good.
Okay, some
I
of
don't have
us
a
have to
smoker.
work in the morning.
That's true.
Congratulations. What do you want, a cookie?
No. we need
Oh,
to
you're a
sign
contributing
off.
member of society. Let's make a big deal out of it. Anyway.
Listen.
Dork.
I know where you live.
morning. All right.
I know where you live.
Yes, you do.
What a way to snub your nose at the unemployed. Jeez, Lori.
I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what she just did.
No.
Lori was
That's exactly
like,
what she
"By the
did.
way,
Yep.
Some of us have a job, and
No, I
some
said
of
some
you
of
do
us
not.
have to work in the morning.
Some of us are elitists. We're part of the bourgeoisie.
No, that's
Some
you,
of
Kevin.
you are living off of the tit of the government.
Not what I said.
God, you're an elitist prick, Lori.
No.
See, I just don't do
God.
Mondays.
Mondays are
Kevin
What?
is the one that has tomorrow off.
No, I don't have tomorrow.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I only have
That's me.
every other Monday off.
I only do Mondays.
I work tomorrow.
Okay.
Black Ring Spirits is closed on
Wait,
Mondays.
do you have to go in tomorrow?
No,
Oh.
no, I'll be at
Who's
home
the
tomorrow.
elitist prick now?
I'll be at home tomorrow. I'll be at home tomorrow. Shut your mouth. I'll be at home tomorrow.
I'm gonna
We're
endorse the hashtag.
working diligently from home, by the way, tomorrow. I am it's one of my exception days. Diligently from home, working in my underwear. What? Are you telling me that when you worked from home, you actually got fully dressed and
Yeah,
ready to
I
go? You're out of your mind.
No.
If I'm working from home, I'm
only-
either in my underwear or my pajama bottoms.
The only deviation is I would wear my slippers
Oh,
on my feet
screw
because they were
that.
cold.
Screw that. I don't turn my camera on at home for nothing
Oh, I
on the
do.
work day.
I have a
Nobody
great
no.
background.
Nope. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing. Don't have to. They don't make me. I'm not going to do it. No.
See, I've
Nobody
never,
needs to see that first thing in the morning.
I've never had to do any of this. I mean, it's really hard for me to do my job from home.
Lori said, "Let Lori go. She has to earn your salary." I earn my salary just fine, Mr. Parker. Thank you very much.
I don't pay for
I
Kevin's
work.
life.
I work very hard for what I do for my well-deserving clientele.
Mm-hmm. You do.
I work very hard for that. All right, Paul. Do you have any parting shots that you'd like to make? I can't
I
believe
recommend-
that Beeler's, hold on. I can't believe that Beeler said she wants meat for a treat, and I did not make an inappropriate response to that. I'd like to know what happened to me, and when I suddenly lost my 12-year-old sense of humor. But go ahead, Paul.
Well, can we announce who the new? Well, let me say this.
No, we're going to
If-
announce
for
it
those. For
on
the,
the show
well,
next week
listen.
when they're here.
Why don't I get to do it, man? I can do it tonight. It was my idea. That's all I'm saying. Listen, I've been working really hard.
We agreed with that person. We would do it when they were in studio on Sunday.
Okay, then that's fine.
Thank you.
But I just want the listeners to know because I have not been able to, with the new business, be in there as much as I would like to be. That I did approach Kevin about the possibility of having somebody who is able to be there more often, and it's somebody that is incredibly intelligent. Will probably be the highest degreed person that we've had in studio ever. Next to maybe Spike Cohen.
Do they have a master's already? I know
they're working on.
I don't think they have.
They're working on the degree above that.
Yeah.
They're working on their doctorate?
Yes.
PhD? Yes.
Yes.
Somebody that smart wants to come on this show on a regular basis? What the hell happened to us?
Yes. So well, here's the thing. I think people will be really happy, and it's one of the things that we felt that we needed to bring balance in a sense to the show, and I think that this person will really help do that. So I'm really happy, and I hope that this person decides to become a like regular member of the show. I feel like that would give us a really complete crew. So
Well,
just
you
my
missed it.
opinion.
So that person has agreed to that, and they're going to be in studio next weekend, and we'll announce them on Sunday in studio.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
If you were here on time, you'd have known. But I don't mean that as a shot. I just meant we talked about it earlier. You just missed it. And I
No,
forgot.
that's cool. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate
Right.
it. So,
Paul,
all right, man.
listen. I did promise the listening audience, the millions, the people that listen to this show. Can you tell them how they can make reservations to come out and paintball?
Well, right now, because the business is still new, the website is not finished, but our Facebook is up and done. And you can message us directly at Kitsap Paintball Park. It's up there. There's pictures up there, stuff like that. Prices are pretty straightforward. It's $45 if you need gear, so your rental gear, so all your rental gear, your mask, your paint marker, and all that. So it's $45, and that includes the $20 entry fee. If you have your own paint marker and stuff like that, it's only $20 to come play. And the way that we pay for the land is that we split the player fee 50-50 with the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. So that money goes towards them, their legal defense, getting them back open. We're hoping they will be back open this year. And then we are what's called a field paint only, which means you can't bring your own paint. You have to play with the paint that we provide. It means you have to buy the paint from us. And we have 3 different levels of paint. And by levels, I mean you have field grade paint, and then you have a mid grade, and then you have a high caliber paint that a lot of the tournament players and stuff use. And really that is more in reference to how easily the paint breaks, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, that's the situation. We had a birthday party 2 weeks ago that came out. We had a local Kitsap County Sheriff's officer come out, and he brought 8 kids, 13 and under, and they absolutely had a blast. And there's pictures and video of them up playing on our Facebook page.
Hey, Paul?
Really, yes.
What's your minimum age?
The minimum age is 10.
Hold on. To play at the paintball place, not
10.
This is not episode
10. I'm not a Democrat.
Wow.
So yeah. So 10 is the minimum age to play. However, we have had kids that were 9 years old play, and they were able to take it okay. And you can tell the difference between a 9-year-old that can take it and a 10-year-old that can't.
No, I've refereed some like 10 and 11-year-old paintball party games before, and boy, do the refs take.
And it's funny because, there are some young kids that really get as soon as those paintballs start flying, they're like, oh yeah, I'm into it, man. And they're going 100 miles an hour. I was just saying, or they go the other direction. They're spooked by everything. And when a referee runs around the corner to check on them, they just light the ref up. Absolutely. 100%, man.
I did talk to my my men group at church, and we're gonna put something together, and then we're gonna bring Tom out with us.
Awesome.
We're gonna let Tom play with us.
I love it.
Why are you laughing? Why is that so funny?
No, you gotta get Lori. Get Lori to come out and play. Get some of the listeners to come out and play. Kevin Nelson, all those guys. Absolutely, man. Hey, you put a paint marker in a person's hands, and it's quite an equalizer. And I would tell you this, man. I would not put it past Lori to light you up like a Christmas tree, Kev.
Exactly.
No, here's what's going to happen, Paul. We're going to get out there. We're all going to have our guns, and Lori's going to say, before we start shooting at each other, can we try to talk this out? That's what's going to happen.
I don't see that.
Nope.
I don't see that.
Nope.
No, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, Paul.
You know who I'd be afraid to play with out there, by the way, if we could be completely honest?
Yeah.
I would be totally afraid to play Beeler. Alicia Beeler. I think she'd be badass out there. And I'd be even worse than that, I'd be more afraid to play Trojo.
Yeah, you can't find him.
No, because wow, I wasn't going to go there. I was just it's the first time that he's going to be able to be armed and defend himself.
First of all, hold on, Tom. Tom, we don't have night games yet. Okay, those are coming in the fall.
I was talking about
those are coming in the fall.
How small he is. Hey, you've got silver like cylinder like tunnel things in your can people get in those?
Yeah, you
You don't want to.
could, but you wouldn't want to
It's a bad idea.
No, because then you're stuck.
because
Yeah.
you're stuck,
Nope.
dude. You're not getting out of that thing with it. And I'm going to tell you right now, man. When you see paintballs start hitting objects that you're standing behind, and you see the paint flying, your instincts will kick in, and your need for self-preservation will take over.
You know what's gonna
Because
happen?
you would be like, holy shit, I do not want to get hit by that.
You know what's gonna happen, Paul?
What's
The
that?
minute that start, you're gonna hear Tom start screaming, "We need a third team! This isn't fair! We need a third team!"
No, Tom's going to be his own.
No, Tom is gonna want his third team, his libertarian team.
And let me ask you, Lori,
Okay.
Lori, you're gonna
Yeah.
will you come out and throw down some paint with the guys?
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Yeah, we have plenty of women that come out and play, so it's not like it would be a rarity.
Flowers.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Paul.
Kevin, when have
Yes.
you known
Yes,
me to
Tom.
be?
Do you have
Every day,
do you have
not
CO2 refills out there, or just compressed air?
We are not CO2. We have a whole generator system set up. If you need to borrow a tank, you can borrow a tank for your gun. One of the new
Okay.
tanks.
Oh, I don't
So-
I don't have a marker anymore.
Oh, well-
all my stuff is
What's
long
the-
gone.
What's the dress code? Like
I would recommend long sleeve clothes and not shorts.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, is there a dress code per se?
No,
No.
people were. In fact, we've got games scheduled like last year, right before the field that we bought closed down. They ran a Star Wars game where they bought special shirts and people were dressed either like the rebels or like the Empire, and people wear costumes out there. And in the fall, we'll get all of our black lights set up, and we'll actually have night games, and they play with glow in the dark paint.
That's
Those are
awesome.
fun.
That's a good idea right there.
We used to
Oh,
play.
boy.
You should hire Dennis to come out there and play music while you guys are doing
Actually,
that.
I spoke to Dennis about that very specific thing, and I would really love for him to do that. We'll have to. So we're getting ready. We're going to do our grand opening in probably 2 or 3 weeks. And when we do that, that's when I'm going to talk to Tom, see if he wants to come out and set up a little booth, promote his product. Have Dennis come out, play some music. It'll be a blast.
It'd be great.
Nothing
man.
at all.
Nothing's gonna go
Yeah.
wrong. Paintball, man. It's
Oh, it's fun.
yeah, it's good time.
We used to play
It is
shirts and skins when I was.
You're an idiot, dude.
No, we used to play shirts and skins when I was on the tournament team, just for.
Yeah, they call it running the gauntlet, where if you do something really bad, you have to take your shirt off and run past everybody standing in a straight line, and they get to take a couple shots at you. And that is guaranteed to fuck up your day.
Yeah, we used to have a firing squad with the team I played on. So you go to a tournament and say you as a player got shot out of 3 games, then you took 3 shots from the rest of your team, and we'd usually do that. Skins.
Yeah, it's a blast, Kev. You'll have a good time, man. And
I'm sure I'll have a blast. I'm excited to do it.
You may run the risk of becoming addicted to it, which has happened to many of people. Many
does.
people.
It can get expensive quick too.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I'm just going to say this. I have enough stuff that I want to be addicted to that I'm not allowed to be addicted to because I have neither the time, inclination, or the money to be addicted to them. So the Derby is in there.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do the Derby on a regular basis. I just can't.
Can I make a suggestion to you, Kevin?
Yeah, please do.
Bring a lady on a date to play paintball.
Oh my God! Can we stop?
No,
with
he
dating talk. Holy
serious.
hell.
He said 2 paintball
To paint? Why?
because it's
Because-
fun.
No, because here's what happens. Wait a minute, you little schmuck. Here's what happens.
No,
Every time I do anything with you guys, and I mean this, and so zip it. Every time I do anything with you guys make it your mission to embarrass me. You make it your mission to make. I'm speaking more directly to Paul than anybody. You make it your mission to make sure I don't win and to make me look like a dummy. So we go out and do the Derby. What does Paul do every year? Paul's like, hey, we're all going to conspire together to make sure that Kevin doesn't win. We're all going to get on the same page. Wait, hey, Debbie, are you in? Tom, are you? And then Paul tries to work the whole thing out so it doesn't matter who wins as long as I lose. So I will be damned, you conservative Republican son bitch, if I'm going to bring some woman out there on a date so that she can watch me get pelted by 30 guys that you set up on the backside to shoot me when I'm not expecting it. Are you drunk?
No, Kevin, I mean this with all due sincerity.
Then the woman goes, oh my gosh, Kevin, let me take care of you.
Or she'll be like, this guy's not liked very much. Why? I'm not going to do a second date. Shut up, Paul.
Kevin, I mean this really sincerely, because if you go out and you bring a date out to play paintball, you're going to get a chance to see her under stressful circumstances when the adrenaline is flowing. You get to protect her and defend her. She gets to see what kind of a man you are, alpha or beta. Like it's a good.
I've decided I'm beta, by the way. I've read what you guys expect an alpha male to be. I'm probably beta. And by the way, if I want to see what kind of a woman she is, I'm taking her to Subway. Okay, so let's just
Subway,
so she can make me a sandwich.
Oh.
All right, Paul. Do you have any other parting shots? We're going way late tonight. This is great.
I could just see her. I could just see her at the end of the date playing paintball. Kevin would be like, "Hey, Paul, can you hang out with my date for just a few minutes? I have to go to my car."
That's right. I hate you. All right.
Damn. Love you guys.
Paul, you know what? You know what grinds my gears, to quote Peter Griffin. You know what grinds my gears, Paul?
A clutch.
Every time in your life since I've known you. Yeah, in your life since I've known you.
Okay.
That you were on a date or you were seeing somebody. I was supportive. I was encouraging. I said good things about you. I talked you up. I constantly, I had your back. You little rat bastard, every time you can make me look bad, you go out of your way to do so. There is a special place in hell reserved.
Oh my God,
like you, Paul.
Your panties are in a bunch. Listen, first of all, it was one fake lottery ticket, and that was your birthday. And you're the one that took off and left your date hanging with me when you literally ghosted her in the middle of a bar. So I'm pretty sure
it was literally 20 years ago. You non-compoop.
So. Are you at least acknowledging? Are you acknowledging that you did it
13 years ago? That I left the bar and ditched a date with you?
Yes.
Paul, she had more facial hair than you do.
That's true. I don't disagree with you.
So, yeah, I did. It was a long time ago. It was a different Kevin back then. You keep saying how much I've changed. Quit bringing it up.
Not so much.
Final comments in chat before you leave. Corey said Kevin finally admitted he's a beta. So I had a conversation with somebody about what an alpha male does. It probably isn't me. I'm a little too sensitive. I'm a little too interested in actually communicating. The whole alpha male thing, they just grunt a lot. I just can't. Robert said, quit whining like a little girl, Kevin. That's not helpful, Robert. Tegan said, glow in the dark games are awesome. I think she means paintball. But
tell Robert Parker he needs to come out and play some paintball.
No, I guarantee you he won't. Alicia said, pew, pew, paint, Kevin. Bring it. Tegan used to.
Oh, it's already been rotten.
Tegan said, parting shots. Pete Serrano is awesome. I'd like to get Pete on the show. I guess that's it. Casey said, wow. I'm not sure what she said wow to.
Just wow.
Just wow. Like,
just wow. It's the Outlaws.
How did I trip into this nonsense? All right. So, Paul, do you have anything else? Is your wife asleep?
Nope. Actually, I'm looking at her. She's over in the barn and she's doing the horse's feet.
Okay. We'd like to doing the horse's feet. We'd like to have her on the show sometime.
Oh, I'll let her know.
Just tell her we'd love to have her on so we can talk about you. I'd like to embarrass
Yeah.
you for a change.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah,
Get right on that.
All right, buddy.
Right.
Paul, in all seriousness, before you leave, let's give this shout out as well. Next Saturday is Doc Loves the Kids. We're all going to be in place. It's noon to 3. Correct. So, Paul, you're going to be on the 2:30 to 3 o'clock shift in the tank. Tom and I will be in there as well. Lori's going to be in there.
Appreciate that, by the way. Whoever made up the schedule, I appreciate the fact that you put me kind of last there because I will be working at the paintball field, so I'll have to. Where is the doc?
Make the schedule. I'm just the one that decided that. You shut your mouth.
Where is the event? Is it down at Lions Field again? It is at Lions Field. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Lions Field. So yeah, we'll.
That's not too far. By the way, for those that don't know,
I'm going to wear my Kendall outfit, the Kendall outfit that I bought that I had the picture of me on. I'm going to wear that so nobody can miss me.
Nice. Let me just throw this out there so everybody's aware. The location of the paintball field is at Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club, which is on Seaback Highway. Seaback Holly. So if you're heading out to Wildcat Lake, you've probably driven right past it. It's just before the roundabout there by Wildcat Lake. So
is that Holly?
And this, and the signs are there as well. So you'll see Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club and Kitsap Paintball Park. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Paul, we love you. We appreciate you. Are you going to be at the fair this weekend? You going to Kitsap County Fair this weekend?
Well, no, I've got the paintball field to be open this weekend. I'll be at the day on the farm. I'm hoping to be able to take the kids and the wife Friday evening. It'll depend on what time the wife gets in with work. Maybe Thursday evening.
Are you going to Cody's Day on the Farm?
Am I going to what?
Is it Cody's Day on the Farm? What is it called?
Or Corey's Day? Corey. Yeah. No, that's no.
You're not doing that?
No.
Okay.
My ex-wife used to do that.
That's why I was surprised. I thought you just said you were going. I was going to be surprised because I would have assumed that you'd run into the ex-wife there and then back over.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. No, she doesn't have horses anymore. Her husband doesn't allow it, and she doesn't have enough money. So,
doesn't allow it.
Life sucks when you cheat on your husband of 17 years. Just saying.
Hilarious when one spouse doesn't allow something with the other spouse. Like you're not in a relationship.
Not untrue though. All right, brother. Hey, you guys, I love you. Lori, see you Saturday. Tom, take care, man. Make sure you polish that up real good.
One last thing for you, Paul. Don't forget September 13th is the Derby Day. Outlaw Radio Invitational will be in the Derby, and I'm going to kick your ass.
You might, but I have a substitute driver. I have somebody that's driving for me this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Paul, guess what? All right. There goes Paul. He's gone. All right. He's gone. Goodbye, Paul. Lori, do you have any parting shot? I know, Paul. I see you. You're still there. You're just off still. Hold on, let's bring it back on stage. Hello, Paul. All right. Goodbye, Paul.
Anyway. All right. Good night, guys. Good night.
You big dummy. All right. Goodbye. All right. Lori, do you have any parting shots?
Just start paying attention when you're driving around, especially during traditional school hours. Bus drivers are in training, and we have a lot of your high school kids getting, going back to school to do
getting their driver's permits too, because driver's is about to start. Yeah.
And pretty soon we'll be seeing buses and all that. So
I know we will. Do you know this is the first year?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you won't.
I'm not going to have a kid in school.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with myself. Like I was watching all those commercials talking about buying school supplies, and I thought, wow, I don't got to spend money on school supplies this year. Where am I going to spend all that money?
It was weird after Isaac graduated.
Yeah.
It was kind
of sad, actually.
What do I do now?
No, you'll get a grandchild, then you'll spend your.
My neither of my kids. I don't see grandkid coming my way.
I didn't think so either, but here we are.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to share this. I shared this on my page earlier, but it was a thing I saw on another Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
But it says one of the toughest things about being a father is when you realize you're raising the ones you can't live without to live without you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, that's some heavy stuff right there.
It is.
It's 100% true.
That's something Isaac and I have talked about. He doesn't like that conversation.
Mhm.
As I tell him, hey, it's time to go out and be an adult. Yeah, he doesn't like that.
No, and the problem is my youngest is ready to branch out and do more of the adulty things now that she's graduated, and I'm like, but I don't want you to grow up yet. All right, Lori, do you have parting shot? Any other parting shot? Are you going to race this year in the Derby, or are you going to be you're going to be a spectator again? All right.
Yep.
Paul's going to be a dictator. But you're going to be a spectator again this year?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
F-Bomb wants to ride with me this year. It's gonna be great.
Is that allowed?
I don't see why
Yeah.
not. We're doing a circle race.
Well, I just don't know. Are you allowed to have somebody in for the race? I know you can do
Yeah.
the time trials.
Yeah, no, I've ridden along with other drivers on races.
Okay.
You guys would know that too if you'd show up to a derby once in a while.
I when do I have time to come to a derby, dude?
I don't know.
I work 3 jobs and have the radio show, and I'm going to college for my master's.
Yeah, I mean, I work 2 jobs. I get it.
So I can hopefully be half as smart as our upcoming joining the show person is. So whatever.
Half as smart.
Half as smart.
Half as
Well, I guess they've got multiple masters or whatever.
yeah, I don't have
bachelor,
multiple
what I don't know.
masters.
They're going on their doctorate or something.
Yeah, no.
If I have to call them doctor on this show, I quit. All right. Lori, any other parting shots?
No,
All
that's
right.
it.
Tom,
Hi.
do you have any parting shots, my friend? Little bastard, I swear to God, I'm just going to lose my mind with you guys.
No, I honestly, I think we covered just about everything. I would bring up, come out to the last Derby this season. It's going to be a good time. Show up for Doc Love the Kids Day. If you've got a small person that needs a backpack or haircut or shoes or any of that stuff, come on out. Lions Field, 23rd, noon to 3. All I'm really doing is kicking the dead horse.
Well, there you go.
So,
okay. Well, here's my parting shots. One, the fair's coming up. I would encourage you guys, if you have a chance, to go out to the fair, especially on that Wednesday. It's a cheap day. It's family day at the fair. You can get in there cheaper. And I would really encourage you, especially if you've got kids that are in school and you could use a little bit of extra help getting stuff together for them. Go to Doc Loves the Kids Day at Lions Field. Again, they're giving out a whole bunch of stuff to kids in school supplies and backpacks, bicycles, haircuts, shoes.
and there's activities, I'm sure last year they had, a grill out there with burgers and dogs, and there was bouncy houses and stuff to do. It wasn't just
dunk tank this
this year dunk tank.
This year the dunk tank. So I would really encourage you guys to be a part of that if you can, support it. Come out, have a good time, and it'll be a really good experience and a really good time. And if you don't need the help, then don't come down and get the help, but come down and support it.
Yeah,
and be a
come
part
down.
of it.
Yeah, come down. Love the community.
Enjoy the vibe.
There's
Yeah,
great people out there.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
Our very own DJ D will be providing the music and audio. So.
DJD is pretty phenomenal, by the way. Don't tell him I said that though, because I don't want to give him an ego. All right. I guess that's probably it. We'll be back next week. We'll have a new member in tow. We might have a guest. Do we have a guest that you've booked next week? I have one that I've been talking to, but trying to align schedules has not worked out, which is
all 3 of mine have kind of bogeyed out.
Little bastards.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you're talking about, but they're bastards anyway because they won't come in. That'll do it. That'll wrap up the show, guys. We appreciate you. We love you very much. Thanks for supporting the show. If you had a good time, be a friend, tell a friend, share the show, put the feed out there, let people know. If you did not have a good time, if you hated the show, we were never here, and this never happened.
It's never happened.
Yeah, it was never a thing. All right, guys. Any other final comments? Tegan said, nice seeing everyone. Have a great week.
That's a great way to wrap right there.
Yep.
Yeah. And Lori said, have a great week, one and all. And a Merry Christmas to all. And to all a good night. Good night, peeps.